This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
Well, we track the Hebron Hawks on the road tonight to Murphy, Texas, and homestanding Plano East. By the way, they're the Panthers. Why not put a black cat in your path on Halloween? Happy Halloween, everybody. Brad Denton along with Trent Lynch along with Weston Lynch. Collectively, we're Champion Sports Radio. We very proudly present Hebron Hawk football for the 2014 season. And welcome into Collin County and beautiful Tom Kimbrough Stadium. It is game number 9 for the Hawks, game number 9 for the Panthers. Either ball club have rung up just a lone win in 8 starts thus far. That's right. The Hebron Hawks 1-7 overall. The Plano East Panthers 1-7. This one is out of District 6A. I remind you that permission to broadcast tonight's high school football game has been granted to Champion Sports Radio by the Plano Independent School District, the Louisville Independent School District, and the University Interscholastic League. No other broadcast of this origination is permitted without written authorization from Champion Sports Radio, the Plano and Louisville Independent School Districts, and the UIL here in the 2014-2015 school year. The University Interscholastic League blowing out a bunch of candles on the birthday cake. How about 105 years as the administrating body over extracurricular activities throughout the state of Texas and the public schools. Introduce our Champion Sports Radio production crew. Alongside is one Weston Lynch, acting as our remote engineer and our producer, and going to join us as a third voice tonight in the booth. And working as your color analyst is one Mr. Trent Lynch. And by the way, we are missing one of our players, Mr. Pete Nielsen. Usually serves on this crew, is, otherwise occupied, I believe, in St. Louis tonight on a meeting for a charity that he's very much involved with. So we hope he has safe travels, and we'll keep the seat warm, Big Pete, while you're away. Trent, jump in here and let's talk about Plano East. Let's talk about Hebron. I mentioned either team will mirror the 1-win, 7-loss record, and I think either team and either head coach, we'll talk to him in a moment, will mirror the doggone it, a lot of injuries, and maybe Mr. Murphy and his twin brother brought their law and set up permanent residences throughout the fall in either camp.
Brad, thank you very much, and I appreciate the welcome this evening in tonight's ball game. And if Coach Brian Brazel and Coach Joey McCullough weren't so different in stature, you might say they were looking into a mirror at themselves the way these two programs have gone through this year. 1-7 overall. Each victory, the one victory for each team against Flower Mound, the Jaguars, and otherwise it's been 0-7 for each one of these ball teams. And
some airtight losses for either team and some lopsided losses, quite frankly, for either one of these ball clubs. You look at Hebron and you think back to the triple overtime loss in the home game, the district ball game against the Marcus Marauders rather early in the district schedule. And for Plano East, you want to talk about a tight fit. You don't have to turn the page back, but just 1 week over at Max Goldsmith Stadium. A ball game that ended up Louisville 58 and Plano East 56. But doggone it, I give Joey McCullough all the credit in the world if he can get these kids to bounce back from that, because they gave up 31 fourth quarter points and saw a big lead evaporate and finally disappear.
3 onside kicks, and then essentially a muffed reception on another kickoff that went into the end zone, then was called a safety, and that 2-point difference was a difference in the ball game. And it's really tough, Brad. You take a look at these two programs, and who'd have thought this time of year, Halloween, waiting for the playoffs to come, and it doesn't mean anything when it comes to the playoffs tonight. Those games were last night.
Yeah, very, very unusual that both the Plano East and the Hebron, both very proud programs with proud winning traditions in the rearview mirror, are both here at Halloween and realize that it doesn't make any difference. We can go ahead and make those Thanksgiving plans. There won't be any playoffs in 2014. Well, let's very quickly, before we go to our initial break, talk about District 6A, as things did shake out last night with a couple of ball games. Marcus bowing to Plano, the Wildcats dominating the Marauders 41-7 Thursday night at Clark Field. And Louisville goes on the road, losing to Boyd 31-17. So the 4 playoff tickets out of District 6A have been punched. They have been earned by the Allen Eagles, the Plano West Wolves, and with the wins last night, the Plano Wildcats and the McKinney-Boyd Broncos. It's going to be Marcus and Louisville, Hebron, this Plano East team, and Flower Mound, all on the outside, looking in when it comes time for the second season. We invite you to stay tuned. We visited with either one of these head coaches just a short time ago, and we'll give a listen, first off, to Hebron head man Brian Brazel on the other side of the pregame timeout on Champion Sports Radio.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Take your choice and pay just $269 a month on new Chrysler Town & Countries or Dodge Grand Caravans. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Chrysler 300s or Dodge Chargers at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huffines has it.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShopboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
As the pregame show presented by Whirly Ball continues from Tom Kimbrough Stadium, pleased to be joined by Hebron head coach Brian Brazel. And Coach B, reflecting on the Hawks' latest outing, that lopsided loss to Plano West, where it seemed that whatever could possibly go wrong did in fact go wrong. Let me ask you, as a coaching staff, do you review the tape on that thing and use it as a teaching tool, or is there any hint of truth to that old adage about burning the tape and starting all over again?
Yeah. No, we closed that page on that one. We turned the page pretty quick on it. You know, one of the things, you know, when you're going through adversity and things like that, you got to tell the kids they got to turn the page. You know, you got to move on. You got to get going, and so do we. And really, fortunately, I thought our defense played pretty well last week overall. If we wouldn't have played well with those 7 turnovers, it would have been 75 or 80 points. And so, you know, we just really struggled offensively last week for whatever reason. And when you put the ball on the ground 7 times, a team that's as explosive as Plano West, giving them the field position we did, I really, you know, I thought our kids played hard. And, you know, as bad as we played on offense, I thought, even though we gave it 50, I thought we played okay defensively. And, you know, and there were some good things special teams-wise. And, again, some kids really played well. I thought Isaiah Gary had another great game for us and really stood up. And I thought our defensive front got after the quarterback good and, you know, getting a couple picks and stuff. I mean, that was, you know, it was a good night for us. But they were a very good football team. If you play as poorly as we did, you know, giving 7 turnovers, you're not ever going to beat anybody. I don't care who you're playing.
Kids are obviously very resilient and keep showing up and having a good week of practice and another good week of practice. And doggone it, came in second place again last week. But an opportunity to teach the bigger tool in life, the bigger game, if you will. And it's not always going to be hats and horns and apple pies.
No, it's not. But I do like the way you said we were in second place. That makes it sound better than we lost. But, yeah, we definitely know that you got to learn from these situations. Kids know where we're at. I mean, they know what the situation is. And but, again, they're excited about a game. They're excited about the opportunity to play. And that's the thing I've told them. I said, guys, you only get so many opportunities to go get on the field, put your helmet on. And we have a lot of kids that have been injured for the season that won't ever get a chance to play high school ball again. And so you need to be able to be thankful for what you have and the opportunities that come with it. And again, you got a team like Plano East tonight. You know, they had a tough game last week, had a big lead, and got, you know, taken away from them late. But, again, they played awfully well and very explosive. They just had a lot of things. It was kind of reminiscent of the John Tyler game we were there for a little bit, how everything, but it was there, the shoe was on the other foot this time. But anyway, I just know that you do have to keep battling. And, again, kids are relaxed, they're ready to play.
That opportunity tonight here at Plano East, those Panthers, like your Hawks, 1 win and 8 starts, but Plano East, they'll get your attention, particularly offensively, and they're featuring a very young quarterback in Mr. Smalls, who a week ago returned from a month off due to injury. And the kid accounts for 400 plus of their 500 total yards offensively. He's a weapon.
Yeah, and he wasn't even the starter. You know, the other young man started the game, number 10, who was also coming back from injury. They'd been playing another one, and they were kind of rotating them, and then it just seemed like number 1, Smalls, got kind of the hot hand, and they stuck with him. And next thing you know, like I said, 7 touchdown passes later, I mean, the guy had a great game. And, you know, he built a big lead. They were up 49-28 late in the, midway. Well, about 7-8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and then next thing you know, everything went Louisville's way. And but again, then even after Louisville went up 58-49, they found a way to get a quick score and make it 58-56, and then they didn't get the onside kick. But I mean, I think if they'd have got the ball, they might have very well come back and won the game as well.
Coach Brazel, we appreciate your time for sharing. You know how we feel about you. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Brian Brazel, 15th-year Hebron head coach. We invite you to stay tuned. Pre-game programming on Champion Sports Radio continues in a moment.
The end is here. To get Huff Heinz' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Heinz Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on the all-new 2013 Huff Heinz Dodge Starts. Only $269 a month on new Huff Heinz Ram Quad Cabs. Or only $279 a month on new Huff Heinz Ram Crew Cabs. At both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huff Heinz has it.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/CSSRadio. Facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and Facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
Are you looking for a way to promote your business or increase exposure? Do you just need more people to know that you're there? Join the Champion Sports Radio team and advertise during these games. In the last 4 years, Champion Sports Radio has broadcast over 600 games to more than 3.5 million listeners. And Champion Sports Radio wants to help you use major high school sports to reach thousands of local fans right in your community. Think about it. Die-hard fans just like you tune in each and every week, giving your business unparalleled access to the community. It's the perfect way for smaller individually owned businesses to cultivate a core clientele or expand their already loyal customer base. To secure your prime commercial spot during the broadcast, contact Thomas Lee at Champion Sports Radio by phone at 972-741-0334. That's 972-741-0334 or online at championsportsradio.com. Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcast.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Pre-game programming continues from Tom Kimbrough Stadium on Champion Sports Radio. It's we welcome in first-year Plano East head coach Joey McCullough. And Joey, first off, belated congratulations for being named the 7th football coach, athletic coordinator, Plano East Senior High School. Hey, it's a place where you have a whole lot of history and hold dear to your heart, and for very good reason.
Yes, sir. You know, playing here, going to school here, it's an honor and a privilege to be the head football coach and athletic director here at Plano East. It's my dream job, and no matter what the record is this year, great things are happening at Plano East, and so like I said, this is the place that I'd be over any other place.
Well, and I said for good reason. You mentioned you played here back in, 84 and 85?
Yes, sir.
A big part of that first ever Plano East State District Championship team in 85.
Yes, sir.
And then, about a decade under Scott Phillips when things were really rolling over here at East, latter 90s into the 2000s.
Yes, sir. 94, the year of the John Tyler game, all the way up to 2002 when I went to Plano West. A lot of time spent at Plano East as a player, as a coach. It's a place that I don't know why I always knew that I'd end up back here, and it sure is good to be home.
Joey, obviously with the one victory in 8 starts, the wins, losses, not where you want, but you do stay positive. You do realize that it takes some time to turn a program around to where you want it to be.
Oh, no doubt. We came in, and I was hired one day after they were supposed to start spring football. We pushed it back to the 5th. We got 16 of possible 18 days. Great summer program, but you know what? We need an off season. We need another year of our coaches coaching this offense, this defense, and every day we talk about stacking bricks and laying the foundation for a strong program. And it starts with team. It starts with guys being clean-shaven, doing the little things right, wearing the same color socks. Everything that we do is disciplined about, giving of ourselves. And I really believe that our kids have continued to fight all year long, no matter what adversity is. I told them adversity is just another opportunity for us to get better. And I think our kids have championed that all year long. I've been proud of them. I told them, I said, I'll take every loss. I said, you deserve every victory. And so we're just going to keep going there. I got a love for this team, and it's been great.
Joey, insert tongue-in-cheek and refer to the McCulloughs as the first family of Plano football. Very unique situation with your big brother, Jay Don, head coach at the senior high, and now you, the head man here at East, and that after a long tenure on staff, both here at Plano East we talked about, but the last dozen years on Mike Hughes' staff at Plano West.
Yeah, I didn't really realize it till we spoke at a Rotary Club meeting. It's really interesting. Mike Hughes, he coached 12 years with my brother, 12 years with me, and what a legacy Mike Hughes has left. A guy that's not a man. He's not a man of many words, but I tell you what, when he does it, he does it right. He's a loving guy. He's a great coach, and I owe him a lot. One of my mentors, and he always has said that about me and my brother, and he jokes with us, but I owe a lot to Mike Hughes.
Yeah, good man, and trust me, we had him last week. He had a sparkle in his eye. He's got a pretty good ball club.
He does. He's got a good team. He's got some great coaches over there. And he's the same thing. A lot of things that I'm doing here have been based on things that I learned under Scott Phillips and I learned under Mike Hughes. I believe that you got to take from everybody. Even John Crawford, a lot of things that we use in some of the calls that we do. I take a little here, take a little there. We go to Baylor, or, visit with Art Briles and his staff, whether it be Chip Kelly when he was at Oregon. Certain things that we're going to do, we're going to take the things that match our program, and we're just going to continue to get better. We don't need a lot. We're just going to do it right.
Joey, final thought, challenge tonight. You got the Hebron Hawks in town. What about Brian Brazel's outfit? Like your ball club, 1 win and 8 starts.
Yeah, same thing. They have a lot of injuries also. But Brian and his staff, they're going to be a physical. They're going to play a physical brand. I know him. He's thinking the same thing we're thinking about building the future for next year. This is one of those pride matches, and that's what makes it fun about high school football. In District 6-6A, on any given night, you can win and you can lose. And so you better appreciate every single one of them. I know this. Brian Brazel is one of the best guys that I've ever been around. I have a lot of respect for him and his staff, and tonight's going to be a heck of a match.
Thank you, Joey. I, like all the rest of them around here, think that Plano East has the right man at the top of the totem pole.
Well, thank you very much, and I tell you what, it sure is a pleasure to have you here again calling the game that I'm coaching, and you used to call it when I used to play.
Amen. Thank you, Joey. Good luck.
Thank you.
There he is, Joey McCullough, rookie head coach, Plano East Senior High School. Our pregame show continues on Champion Sports Radio after this timeout.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on new Huffines Jeep Liberties. Only $269 a month on new Huffines Chrysler 200s. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Jeep Grand Cherokees or Dodge Durangos. At both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute. Online at gdyo.org/jazz.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShopboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
The Hebron Hawks on Champion Sports Radio. The broadcast of Louisville Independent School District football is brought to you by Huff Hines, the Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, by Whirly Ball, by In Command Broadcasting, by Point of Origin Design, by ShockboxDFW.com, and by the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra and the new GDYO Jazz Institute. Hebron Hawk football is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio. On Twitter at Champion Sports, Facebook.com, Champion Sports Radio, and of course online at ChampionSportsRadio.com. We greet you this evening from beautiful Tom Kimbrough Stadium in Murphy, Texas. We did just have the toss of the coin, and Hebron does win the toss. Hawks defer to the second half, so Plano East will receive the football to get things underway here. To Dress the Ball Club, Hebron on the road with the white jerseys on top of black trousers. Black headgear for Hebron this evening. That's a navy blue numeral and trim for the Hawks. Homestanding Plano East dressed in the old gold headgear and a black top and trouser with old gold numerals trimmed in white. We welcome in a third member of our broadcast crew tonight with Mr. Weston Lynch. And Wes, you're here with us each and every week and do such a good job in so many areas. We're glad to have you up here with us and have you plugged in full time. We were down on the field earlier, a tang of autumn in the air and that wind out of a almost unfamiliar direction.
Yeah, it's coming from our left to our right. When we first showed up this morning, it was blowing pretty hard. Now it's kind of died down a little bit, so it'll be interesting to watch that.
What wind there is from our left to right is from north to south, and it'll calm down a little bit, but when we get things going, it'll be whistling in the ear holes of these young athletes at a pretty good pace, 10 to 15 miles an hour. But again, we expect the flags to lay down as we progress through the evening. The facility here opened in 2003, so this year number 11 of the beautiful Plano Independent School District here on the farthest east side of what is a pretty good-sized school district, the Plano ISD. In fact, the address here at Tom Kimbrough Stadium, not in Plano, but in fact in Murphy, Texas. And they've made it better, Trent, but it's still not easy to get here, and the infrastructure not caught up with some of the busier parts of town.
It's not caught up. I think they're trying. There's quite a bit of construction going on right now, but it's pretty amazing this size of facility and the population that's out here right now, and you're working two-lane roads to try and get out here.
But we are here, and we're glad you're here with us. 1-7 Plano East, 1-7 Hebron. We'll have the kickoff after this timeout on Champion Sports Radio.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2nd, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the number one cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
Just a few moments away from the opening kickoff, and I will remind you this meeting number 3 in the series between Plano East and Hebron. Recall these guys were previous bunkmates in district play back in the 2010 and 2011 seasons. Plano West won both of those contests by 17 in 2010, 38-21, and a squeaker over the Hawks in 2011, that final 20-17. It is varsity season number 33 for the Plano East Panthers, 17 times to the playoffs, the deepest penetration for Plano East, the quarterfinal level back in 1999. The last time East made a very credible penetration in the playoffs was the 2006 season when they went to the third round before bowing to Spring Westfield in the regional semifinals. As I mentioned, Nick Horiades of Hebron will kick it off from north to south, or left to right, and deployed deep to return for Plano East is the pair of ones, Adi Amatosho on the far side, and on the near side is Tim Wilson. Here's the approach and the kick. Veering toward the far boundary, one bounce inbounds at the 15. The flag in the air as the football bounds over the boundary at the 12-yard line. And Plano East will have a decision. Perhaps the Panthers will just take the football and we'll get it underway and eschew a second Hebron kickoff. Bring it out to the 35-yard line for a Plano East Panthers offensive unit that features Dane Cordell at center, Howard Mullins and Cole Moore are the Panther guards. Charles Edgett at right tackle. The left tackle is Alan Sarabia. Wide receiving core inside the slot, Cameron Moore and Zadok Wilson. Tim Wilson along with Amatosho are the wide receivers. The man playing quarterback is sophomore Miklo Smalls. In the running back is Deontay Powell. A whistle and a flag and a false start cited before Plano East can get started.
That looks like a couple of 1-7 teams out there, Brad, right now. A penalty on the kickoff going out of bounds, and the first snap for the Panthers, and false start, -5 yards, and they're back where they would have started if it gone into the end zone.
At the 25-yard line, Hebron will employ a 3-4 base defense under six-year coordinator Eric Mock. Jarrett Lee at nose guard, Nathan Grant along with Chris Brayman are the Hawk defensive ends. Here's Small on 1st and 15. Rifles a pass, too tall, intercepted by Gary at the 35-yard line. Isaiah Gary takes it between the hash marks and is wrestled down near the 32. Gary, the 6'2", 180-pound junior corner, was on the backside of the intended receiver. The pass from Smalls over the top of the headgear of that intended receiver, who was Tim Wilson, and it lands in the lap of Gary, who gets the pick, and Hebron goes the other way on the takeaway.
You heard Coach Brazel in his interview prior to the game talking about the play of Isaiah Gary last week, and he extends it into this week with that interception.
Boy, that's a short field for the Hawks. From the 33, first down, running play. Sophomore quarterback, left side, clear a corner, down to the 30, spin move at the 25, right in the rail. On the far side is Richard Dodd. Inside the 20, the gain to the 18-yard line. That is a very nice gain from the 33 to the 18 on the Hawks' initial snap from scrimmage. Get a look at that offensive line for Hebron. I see the very familiar number 57, the man in the middle. That is Brian Drew. We'll introduce the balance up front after first down and 10. Angelo Garbett is the running back out of a pistol set. Here's Richard Dodd, The spin, the hand, Garbett between the guards, picks up 4 to the 14-yard line. And on the tackle is junior nose guard Bryson Royal of Plano East.
I imagine that's who the Panthers thought the first play would go to, Angelo Garbett, who's carried the load for the Hebron Hawks this year. But Richard Dodd with a really nice run to the outside on the first down of this series.
It is Keith Thomas and Devin White, the Hawk guards. The tackles are Freddie Danchez left side, right side Hayden Seeley. Here's a running play. Garbett left side, the corner, the 10, the 5, touchdown Hebron. Garbett rolls it in from 14 yards away. And it's Garbett for a 12th rushing touchdown of the year. Nice block out front from Derek Mueller, the wide receiver. Boy, Hebron makes it look easy early go. Not even a minute, 17 into this thing. 10:43 remaining on the first quarter clock. And Kyler Terry trying to make a 7 out of the Hebron 6 out of a Colton Chapin hold. The spot down. Terry's on the way and drills it down Main Street, but a flag thrown across the way by our head linesman. And a false start will cost Hebron 5, and I'll make you wish we'll do it again.
Angelo Garbett, just one of those running backs where teams key on him week after week, yet he still gets it done, and he's just a strong man back there in the backfield.
Had no problem going in from 14 right there. The Markoff will take the football back to the 8-yard line, 5 yards infraction. And Kyler Terry will try to add the straight number, this time from the 14, a 24-yard attempt. In fact, make it 15, the 15-yard line, so 25 yards as Hebron continues to sit on the 6. Plenty of leg for Kyler Terry. He's on the way again. The line drive kick is booted true, and we go to break at 10:43, first period. Hebron on the board first from Kimbrough Stadium. The Hawks 7, Plano East nothing on Champion Sports Radio.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year in Sales event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Take your choice and pay just $269 a month on new Chrysler Town & Countries or Dodge Grand Caravans. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Chrysler 300s or Dodge Chargers at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huffines has it.
It is the Hebron Hawks cashing in the dividends on an early takeaway for the book on the short drive. Here's Weston Lynch.
Thank you. It was a 14-yard touchdown run by Angelo Garbett. The drive was 3 plays, 33 yards. It took a minute 3 off the clock. 10:43 left in the first quarter. Hebron 7, Plano East 0.
Hebron's Nick Horiades, a deep kick into the end zone. Bobbled 5 yards into it. He's going to bring it out, and that's Hashimoto, and not a wise decision. Hits a banana peel at the 3-yard line and tumbles down right there. Untackled was the return man who bobbled it and played with it in the end zone. Finally, a belated decision to bring it out, and Adi Amatosho will put his Panthers in some territory trouble. They'll spot him down at the 4-yard line, trailing 7-0.
It looked like he wasn't even coming out of the end zone with urgency. He was just kind of strolling out and tripped over his 2 feet and fell down on the 3. But even if he wouldn't have fallen, the Hawks were right there to take him down near the 5.
Caught it over the shoulder momentarily with his back to the field. And here's a substitution infraction on Plano East. The referee calls it the flag resting in the end zone, so half the distance back to the 2-yard line. And from there, first down and 12. And then Amatosho sort of did a little Cotton Eye Joe after he picked it up and gave it a look and then brought it out for 4 yards only. From the 2-yard line, small swing pass far side. Caught at the 5, split a defender, carried above the 10, gained 10 yards to the 12-yard line. And on the catch there for the Plano East Panthers is Zadok Wilson, tackled by Omar Hicks Onu out of the Hebron secondary at the 12-yard line. From there, second down and 2. Plano East will break the huddle. Dane Cordell, the first old gold headgear over the football. He snaps to Smalls. Handed away inside. First carry for Deontay Powell, junior running back, and not large at all, 5'8", 140, and he runs into a stack very early as Jason Lynch of the Hawks up front drives him down, but not before. Mr. Powell picks up the pair needed for a first down. Plano East, their initial first down of the evening.
Miko Smalls, who's been injured over the past few weeks, actually came into the ballgame about 4 drives into the game versus Louisville last week. A cast on his right hand as he's getting ready for this ballgame.
And he's very special. 7 touchdown passes a week ago. Here's Powell breaking it outside left side, clear to the corner 20, on the sideline to the 23, and wrestled out of bounds by Isaiah Gary. A nice gain out to the 28-yard line on first down from the 16. Or rather the 23.5-yard line, as I will amend the spot on the near sideline. And one of the Hebron defenders, I believe it is still down on the play. That's Isaiah Gary, and will take the official timeout as the training staff makes their way across at 9:55 of the first quarter from Kimbo Stadium. Our count, Hebron 7, Plano East nothing on Champion Sports Radio.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
We welcome back to Tom Kimbrough Stadium. Isaiah Gary injured on the previous play, walking on his own to the sidelines now. And
little gimp in his step, Trent, but very pleased to see Isaiah bounce up and making his way up now to the far hash mark. And as he gets closer to the Hebron bench, it seems as if the walk becomes a bit easier for Hebron's junior corner, Isaiah Gary. And Colton Chapin will check in to work at corner for Hebron, spelling Gary, and we'll keep an eye on Isaiah. The latest gain, Deontay Powell for 8 to the 23. Second down and 2. Plano East, all clad in black. Here's Smalls, going to run it inside. Midline option, get a first down across his 25 to the 27. Upended by safety Antoine Partee. Hebron up front with Kyle Musell now working the series at nose guard. Chris Brayman, Nathan Grant, the defensive ends, Clay Holford, and Jamison Cooper, the inside linebackers. Dallas Shagoya and Corey Eberhardt, the outside backers. Here's Smalls. Going to keep it after a play fake. Going to go to the 30 and after the 32. Miko Smalls zigging and zagging and tackled by Jason Lynch, who's getting some play time in at safety.
A nice move by Smalls in the backfield. He juked to the right, came back left. He's quick and was able to get out of the reach of the Hebron tackler.
Jelani Heath works one corner, and as I mentioned, Colton Chapin the other. It's second down and 3 for Plano East. Smalls to fire in the far flat. Tackled immediately after being caught right at the line of scrimmage. Jelani Heath came up and made the pop on the receiver, and the guy coming away with the football is Zadok Wilson.
Wilson got tagged on that play. Probably lucky to hold on to the ball, but a very nice jump on that route for the Hebron Hawks.
What passing Miko Smalls has done early on has been anything but vertical. Mostly to the flat, either right or left. He's confronted with third down, 3.5, working from a shotgun to throw. Looking left, throwing left, busted up and incomplete. That's a nice break and deflection by Hicks Onu. Omar breaking in front of Zadok Wilson, some 3, 4, 5 yards down the field, and foils the Plano East attempt to turn 3rd and 3 into first down. Punting time for Plano East from the Panther 33.
Hicks Onu just a dash behind that passer. That would have been a pick 6 on his way back. Very good athlete, Hicks Onu. But really nice defense, stopping East on that drive, forcing the punt. Hebron Hawks going to get the ball back.
Taylor Newts will make the long snap back to his punter, Trooper L. Wonger, who will take the snap inside his 20. Single safety is Derek Mueller for Hebron. Now we got a whistle by our umpire, who will say delay of game Plano East, and the Panthers in the early go here playing as if they expect disaster, and disasters have obliged thus far. Now L. Wonger will take it inside his 15. Mueller to return. Should Derek catch it, Hebron with great field position. That's in the air. Derek is going to catch it on the fair catch, and he gathers that in cleanly at the Hebron 45-yard line. Trooper L. Wonger on the punt. The fair catch, Derek Mueller. Hebron's favored wide receiver, by the way, is Mueller. Hebron, a team that throws the ball very little. Mueller, through 8 ball games, 13 catches for 118 yards, and one of only 2 Hebron touchdown passes on the year.
Something you don't typically see out of that Hebron offense is only 2 touchdowns 8 games in.
Here's a running play out of a shotgun, and it's carried by Dodd, and Richard Dodd angles off left tackle to midfield. He'll pick up 7 to the Plano East 48-yard line, and wrestled down by a pursuing nose guard in Bryson Royal. It's Royal along with Trayvon Ransom, and I believe that's Deion Davis. The front 3 for Plano East linebackers, Michael Alleman along with Austin Corbett, Reuben Donald, and Ralph French. Plano's got to like the 2nd down and 4 page of the playbook. Lots of opportunities. It's a play-action keeper up the middle and a 1st down run for Richard Dodd, as he had a very delayed, very deliberate fake to Angelo Garbett, breaking wide to the right side, pulled it from Garbett and kept it behind the right side of the offensive line, and is stopped just shy of the 1st down by Bryson Royal. The Plano East nose guard has been very visible here in the early go. 7-16, rolling 1st quarter. It is Davis sharing time with Ransom and Royal in that Panther front. Out of a pistol set, Richard Dodd looking to the sideline. 2 yards behind him is Angelo Garbett, who has not been busy yet, but I assure you he will be. Garbett, the 14-yard touchdown run, the only marker in the ball game, and Hebron, with some confusion, will call a timeout to freeze the 1st quarter clock at 6:51. We'll take the break with him with our count. Hebron 7 and Plano East nothing.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on the all-new 2013 Huffines Dodge Starts. Only $269 a month on new Huffines Ram Quad Cabs. Or only $279 a month on new Huffines Ram Crew Cabs. At both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huffines has
it. It was a bit of confusion for Hebron that cost the Hawks the timeout, but now they've kicked it around with offensive coordinator Jamie Carr in his 2nd year, and everybody's square on 3rd down and 1. Hands it to Garbett, stoned at the line of scrimmage. 2nd effort, spinning and twirling and reaching and straining. He will earn the 1st down. Garbett carries for 2.
That's just classic Angelo Garbett. Stopped at the line, got even pushed back about a yard, kept digging to get that 1st down. He's a beast out there.
On the stop for Plano East was Trayvon Ransom. 1st down Hebron in Panther territory at the 43, leading 7-0. Now they work straight shotgun. It's Dodd handing Garbett left side. Nothing doing. Good penetration, and Garbett has to put up a pretty good argument just to get back to the line of scrimmage. And on the stop for East defensively is McNair. That's Michael McNair, a junior defensive end.
Austin Corbett on that play, getting up slow. He dove towards the legs, and I think he got knee to the head a little bit by Angelo Garbett, but he's still hanging in there.
Somehow you get the feeling this Plano East defensive unit under coordinator John LeBeau starting to get a feel for them. Their sea legs under them. Here's Dodd on 2nd down and 10. He'll break it wide to the right on a running play, 40-35 into the boundary, angling out of bounds, close to the 1st down stick in the vicinity of the 33-yard line. We'll see if he got enough. Yes, sir. First down on the run. The legs of Richard Dodd, and a fine block out front to spring him on the corner, thrown by running back Angelo Garbett.
Garbett, the all-around player, and I'm sure those East Panthers are just expecting Garbett to be fed the ball play after play, and Dodd's done a really nice job of reading that line and taking that ball to the outside.
We've mentioned the front five: Seeley, Thomas, Drew, Wright, and Danches. How about the tight end, Joe Martin? Throws a block running left. That's Dodd out of room and tackled in the open field. And the open field artistry courtesy of junior corner Quan Beasley. As he spun down, Reuben Donald was giving chase, and Quan Beasley was the guy who put the headgear down and just scissored down Hebron's quarterback, Dodd, and the loss of 3 back to just above the Panther 35.
Angelo Garbett out in front of that play and actually had a chance to block Donald, but that got him stuck, and Crosby came up and just made a really nice hit.
Slater wide left. That's Jalen Slater. Derek Mueller wide to the right. Slot wide is Joe Martin. That's a running play that will be halted by a whistle and a dead ball foul. It's revolving hands. That is false start Hebron. So second down and 13 becomes second down and 18 for a Hawk Ball Club. Under 15th year head coach Brian Brazel. Pretty upbeat in the pregame interview was Brazel, particularly after getting the sizable knot put on their head a week ago by Plano East 50-7, that final from Hawk Stadium.
After 7 turnovers and multiple penalties, the thing that frustrates a coach this far into the season. But he was upbeat, and he's trying to be that for the kids, I think, Brad.
Brazel, 106 in the win column, 65 losses in now 14-plus seasons. Here's Dodd, set to throw. Pressure forces him out of the pocket. He'll roll right, throw on the run. Nobody home, incomplete. Bounced it to Joe Martin, who was inside the 30 near the 25, and the football surfaced somewhere around the 30-yard line. That's Trayvon Ransom, big old defensive end. That's a senior, 6'2", 250, and moving pretty well and gnawing at the ankles of Hebron scrambling sophomore quarterback Richard Dodd.
Big, long third down here, Brad. Third and about 17.
The wide targets would be Jalen Slater left, Derek Mueller to the right side, the wide side. Third down, and as you mentioned, 17. Quick drop, quick throw. Caught by Mueller at the 35. Good ankle tackle at the 30-yard line by Jordan Williams. The cover corner who gave Mueller a little bit of cushion there on third down and forever. Mueller makes the catch 5 yards upfield, but the ankle tackle immediately from Jordan Williams, and Hebron confronted with fourth down 11. Line of scrimmage to Plano East 33 would be a 50-yard field goal attempt from Kyler Terry with a bit of a breeze at the backside. Coach Brazel and the guys will eschew the field goal attempt, and they'll go for it on a fourth down and 11 with Dodd out of a shotgun. Snap to Dodd. He'll keep it on a running play off tackle left side. Gain 1 only to the 32. The ball goes over on downs. Good defensive effort right there. Good series for Plano East. And defensive coordinator John LeBeau. Corbett is the youngster who is on the tackle, the strong side linebacker. And very early, only the gain of 1 on 4th and 11. 3:39 first quarter. Hebron's lead at 7-0 have been locked into that count since just inside the 11-minute mark. Here's Smalls and company. Offensively, Plano East has yet to do much damage. This game seems to have all been played in the Plano East Panther end of the field. A running play, and that's a handoff, and I think that's Powell, the carry, and he's stood up by Antoine Partee after the gain of 2.5, 3 perhaps to the 35. Yeah, it was Partee, or rather Deontay Powell with the carry, the junior, and not large. Again at 5'8" and 140. Kind of got lost in the crowd there. Finally saw the 7 peel himself up off the bottom of the pile. Here's Smalls on a little counteraction, rolling and keeping wide to the right. Hebron diagnoses pretty well defensively. And from the 35, run out of bounds is Smalls by Jelani Heath and Clay Holford. After a minimal gain of 2 to the 37. Possession down, confronting the Plano East Panthers at the 3-minute mark of our first quarter. 3rd down and 6.
Seems like the Panthers just trying to find a rhythm offensively.
And still looking, aren't they?
Still looking.
Still looking. They can light up scoreboards. Evidence of that. The 56 posted last week in the high-scoring loss to Louisville. Here's Smalls in the pocket, throwing to the post. Caught by Wilson at midfield, and Tim Wilson is pulled down by Colton Chapin at the Hebron 44-yard line. 1st and 10 on the strike. Miko Smalls to Tim Wilson. For Wilson, a 10th catch on the year. And a big one. Running play off a quick count. Powell inside, spinning, driving inside the 40. Still driving to the 39. Is Deontay Powell for a gain of 5 the hard way, packing it between the guards. Kyle Musell, who's sharing time at nose guard with Jarrett Lee, who's nursing an ankle a little bit, is Lee on the tackle, Musell.
Powell loses his helmet on the play, has to come out. Javon Redmond replacing him in the backfield.
Redmond with a little more size at 188. A fake to Redmond, a keep by Smalls, a spin move at the neutral zone, and he'll drive for only 2 to the 37, and Jamison Cooper, one of Hebron's inside linebackers, is featured on the stop of the young man wearing a number 1 on the black jersey, and that's sophomore Miko Smalls, the 3rd of the Smalls brothers to pass through this Plano East program. The one who authored the biggest headlines was the oldest, Rico Smalls, about 7 years ago at quarterback. And if memory serves, Rico likewise wore number 1. Miko, the littlest of the brothers, is going to keep on a little running play, and Clay Holford will pull down Miko Smalls, but not before he picks up the 3.5-4, and good enough for a Panther 1st down. Nice job by the right side of that line. Mullins at guard, Charles Edgett at right tackle.
Hebron defensively has done a really nice job of staying in their lanes, but the Panthers have just been able to pick up 3 and 4 almost every play.
It's Powell offset to the right side of Smalls at quarterback, working out of the shotgun. Plano East far and away their most promising drive here. It's late first quarter. Now the Panthers will burn a timeout. We'll do the same. 1:17 remaining. Kickoff quarter from Tom Kimbrough Stadium. Our count continues. Hebron 7 and Plano East nothing.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
I mentioned the Plano East defensive coordinator is John LeBeau. He's an old Plano East defensive lineman. The offensive coordinator is Brad Bailey, the son of former head coach, the late Mike Bailey. Here's a handoff. That's Deontay Powell kind of weaving his way and finding a little alley off tackle to the right side. And from the 34, the gain of 3 to the 31 with Julian Garcia. Hawks safety on the tackle, and checking in is Redmond, spelling a limping Deontay Powell. Powell to the sideline will be addressed by the training staff. And on the field again is Javon Redmond, senior, 5'8", 188 pounds. But Small is the man who turns the engine on. He's going to look to throw, going to spin out, roll right. Going to throw it and deep to the end zone, and caught it for one into the end zone. Still waiting, a flag down. There's the touchdown signal. And let's get this thing cleared off. Jelani Heath was the youngster for Hebron on the cover. The guy on the catch is Adi Amatosho. And looked it in, backing into the end zone around the 1 yard line. Boy, Smalls was cute, spinning out of some pressure and rolling right, and then telling his receiver, Amatosho, to go deep. He did, and found him.
Jason Lynch had Smalls in the backfield. Smalls just does the twist and twirl, and really nice throw coming out of the backfield, rolling off to his right.
Almost a Tony Romo-esque spin out of the pocket when he felt pressure. Here's Henry Matson, point after touchdown. Nice job on the hole, getting the low snap down. And that was Laheen Amlani on the hole and got the spot down. Madison does drive it through. 33 seconds remaining in an entertaining first quarter. Happy Halloween from Tom Kimbrough Stadium, where our count is Hebron 7, Plano East 7.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship social media.
Welcome to Champion Sports Radio's broadcast of Plano East Panthers, Hebron Hawks. Kick getting ready to go after the touchdown by the Plano East Panthers. We'll get that recap from Weston Lynch here in just a moment. Brad Denton.
That is Matson to kick it off for Plano East into a bit of a breeze. Hebron deploying Omar Hicks Onu deep. The line drive kick going to be taken by Onu at the 8, up the right hash, 15, 20, break a tackle, 25, and carry out across the 30. Hicks to the 31, maybe the 32-yard line. Reuben Donald, the linebacker by trade, was the guy who got a hold of Omar somewhere around the 28-yard line, and Hicks Onu drives him out and is rolled out of bounds at the 32. From there, Hebron goes to work very late, first quarter.
Plano East touchdown, 32-yard touchdown pass from Smalls to Amatosho. 7-7, Hebron Plano East. That drive was 9 plays, 68 yards, 3 minutes, 30 seconds off the clock.
For Miko Smalls, a 10th touchdown pass of the year. Recall 7 of those came last week. Hebron a running play. That is a Garbett. Garbett bullies his way behind the left side of his offensive line for 5-6, counted out at a gain of 9 to the 41-yard line, tackled by the cornerback, Quan Beasley.
It'll be interesting to see if the Hawks start to feed Garbett a little bit more as we get towards the end of this first quarter, because he hasn't really touched the ball that much in the entire first quarter coming in.
Trent, speaking of the end of the first quarter, we're going to get there before we start another play. Either team sees the clock at 15 seconds, and now all of a sudden that clock has locked in and settled in. Now it'll start down. They'll count down the final seconds of our first quarter. We're through one at Tom Kimbrough Stadium, and certainly in the balance here, all square. Hebron 7, Plano East 7 on Champion Sports Radio.
The end is here. To get Huff Hines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Hines Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on new Huff Hines Jeep Liberties. Only $269 a month on new Huff Hines Chrysler 200s. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Jeep Grand Cherokees or Dodge Durangos. At both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huff Hines has it.
Along with Trent Lynch, Weston Lynch, I'm Brad Denton. Champion Sports Radio sends this one your way. And Trent, your comments, a couple of 1-win, 7-loss ball clubs. Heck, it's a holiday, Halloween night, still a pretty good buzz throughout the facility.
There is a good buzz, Brad, and it was senior night here tonight for these Plano East Panthers parents here to enjoy. A lot of band parents and the football parents here enjoying a beautiful football evening in Texas.
Well, we're going to switch ends of the field in Hebron now, working from south to north, our right to left, and the Hawks can't get it underway cleanly, and there's a flag and a delay of game, false start infraction on Hebron will cost the Hawks 5, and erase part of what was a really good run by Garbett at the close of the first quarter, and now 2nd down and 7 for Hebron from the Hawk 37. Under is Dodd. Running play, Garbett. Going to try to reverse it. That's Slayton. Back to Dodd. In trouble. Oh, dancing under big-time pressure. Giving ground and going down inside of his 20 is Richard Dodd. He was being chased in big time by Reuben Donald, a linebacker back there, and also later help from Trevor Pullen. And I think I mentioned it last week. When Dodd gets in trouble, he dances and wildly and looked like that mouse in the cartoon with all the exits blocked. Nowhere to go.
Yeah, and that was just such a long developing play. Only one receiver out, Derek Mueller, going out into the pattern, and 3 pitches in a pass. It's really hard to execute that.
The loss considerable. Back to the 20-yard line. Dodd to throw, swatted back in his face. And that's by a big-time and a very angular defensive lineman for Plano East, and a youngster who wears the 2-5. In fact, it's a linebacker in Austin Corbett into the passing lane and said, nope, not going to get it by me. And Hebron with a rather forgettable offensive series here, forced to punt on 4th down and 23, maybe 24.
Austin Corbett, on my roster, it says he's 5'11". He looks a little bit more like 6'2" than he does 5'11". He's a big kid.
Zadok Wilson peels off in single safety to return the Hebron punt, which will come off of the foot of Jake Gennard. Takes a one-hop snap and does get a kick away. Not a beauty, but fortunate to get it away. It touches down in Hebron territory at the Hawk 45, and then a quick Plano East bounce, and is covered by Hebron's Joe Martin at the Hawk 43-yard line. Make it the 41-yard line. And 11:04 until halftime, in wonderful field position. Taking over in plus territory at the 41 are the Plano East Panthers, who far and away had their most productive drive. It resulted in points last possession.
Something that Hebron has struggled with for a majority of the year is that snap back either to the holder on a field goal, extra point, or back to the punter. And once again, it was skipped back to the punter and really put some pressure on him to make that punt.
Here's a running play in the backfield. Now they'll go reverse. Hashimoto back to Smalls. He's in trouble. Throws it on the run. It's caught downfield and then dropped immediately by Zadok Wilson at the 40-yard line. Something akin to what Hebron tried last series. Big pressure from Jason Lynch gummed up the works in the backfield. But you're right, reverse handoff, a quick toss, then back to the quarterback, and Hebron had it diagnosed pretty well.
Jarrett Lee made some really nice penetration at the beginning of that play, kind of messed it up. It started a little bit deeper, I think, than the Panthers wanted it to. And once again, everything has to work perfect in order for trick plays like that to result in a touchdown.
Dante Powell back into the game at running back. Quick throw, Smalls, far flat, caught by Oshimoto. Gain of 3 only, and down to the 36 to the 35-yard line, tackled immediately by Jason Lynch from the safety position. And that is a gain of 5.5. Give him 6. Call it 3rd down and 4. Plano East in Hebron territory at the 35. The East Panthers have been flirting around with near 500 for the past few years. 6-5 in 2011, their latest playoff appearance. 5-4 2 years ago. 5-5 in 2013. Smalls play action pass in the pocket. Going to pull it down, going to scramble. Going to pick up some, but not enough for a first down. Jamison Cooper is on the stop. He is close. He is slippery. Miko Smalls to the Plano, or rather the Hebron Hawk 31.5-yard line. He is just a breath shy, perhaps less than half a yard.
Hawks had a chance to stop him at about the 35, but he just slid. It's like he slid through a couple tackles and was able to, move the ball forward another 4 yards to get to almost the 31.
Sarabia and Moore, left tackle and guard respectively. Dane Cordell, the Panther center, on the right side. The guard, Howard Mullins. The tackle is Charles Edgett. On 4th and 1, they'll go for it on a run, and picking it up is Miko Smalls. He spilled after a gain of 2 to the Hawk 29 by defensive end Nathan Grant.
Cole Moore leading into the hole on that play and did a really nice kick-out block against the Hebron Hawks, opening up that hole for Smalls to get that first down for the Plano East Panthers.
A week ago, this Plano East offense churned up 500 total yards versus Louisville. As for Smalls, he threw for 311, ran for another 95 yards. Here he's going to run inside, zigging and zagging and gaining 4, down to the 26 in Hebron territory. He's slippery with a lot of swivel hip moves, but sticking with him right there is Jason Lynch. And registering between the tackles, the good open field tackle. Inside of 9 minutes and rolling towards our halftime. The Plano East Marching Band, the Hebron High School Marching Band, Respective drill teams will be featured here between the halves on Halloween. Smalls and company from the right hash mark. Handed away. Deontay Powell. A nice move going on an alley between his left guard and tackles. Carries to the 20. Powell down to the 17-yard line. Linebackers Clay Holford and Corey Eberhardt collaborate on the stop, but not before the latest carry of Deontay Powell earns Plano East a fresh set of downs at the Hebron 18.
He can really turn to the left and to the right, almost full speed. It doesn't take much for him to make that Hebron defense miss.
Out of a shotgun, snap it to Smalls, hand it to Powell. Powell, the little shuffle step at the neutral zone, and then behind right guard, puts it inside down to the 13-yard line. Cooper and Holford out of the linebacking core featured on the high-low tackle of Deontay Powell at the Hebron 12.
Brad, you can just see Powell is one of those backs who doesn't hurry up to the line after getting the ball. He just waits.
Patient.
He gets patient, and he reads where that hole is, and he might move his feet a couple inches, and he's dashing to the right and finding that hole and getting a few yards almost every carry.
2nd down and 6 from Hebron's 12. The snap and the whistle before the snap. And 2nd down and 6 becomes 2nd down and 11 on a guy wiggling up there at the feeding trough for Plano East. Used to call that offsides. Now we call it a false start. In basketball, if they roll those hands, it's traveling.
Illegal pursuit. There's just all kinds of calls out there for it anymore.
Smalls and company from the 17. Take it wide, hand it inside. That's a fake to Powell, and a keep by Smalls, and they just try to fake, get some flow moving wide left, and then Smalls keeps it between the guards and tries to go to work with his considerable athletic ability, and he'll zig and zag and finally run into the lap of Jacob Timish, working in an outside linebacker, gains that 5 yards back, and now 3rd down 6 from the Hebron 12-yard line. Big play for Plano East. Wide receivers Tim Wilson to the right side, and to the left is Amatosho. In a slot left is Zadok Wilson, and we will have a timeout. And I didn't notice if the timeout was spent by Hebron or Plano East. Nevertheless, we'll keep it here during the stoppage in play as we want to take the opportunity to extend our heartfelt thanks to one Randy Rogers and the gang over there, Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, sponsoring Hebron Hawk football. It's where you'll find strong supporters of this Hawk football program, Hebron's athletic programs. And if you're searching for a new or used Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, or Ram, well, at Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, everything provided automotive. Superb customer service with Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge. You get a reliable and a stylish new automobile, and you'll get the vehicle at a price that won't break the bank. Our thanks to Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, and particularly Randy Rogers.
Brad, still a little confusing on who called that timeout as the umpire reaches and points that it's against East, but he said Hebron, and it's Hebron's timeout that comes off the clock. So don't know for sure.
It does show Hebron with only 1 remaining and Plano East with 2. Either team has 6 minutes, 50 seconds to spend whatever they have remaining. And now here's Plano East coming out over the football. And again, this is a pretty good size play. Blocking backs Carson Young. Running with the football, Smalls off tackle. Oh, steps through a tackler. Cutting inside and getting the first down. Hit at the 8-yard line and kept the feet on a hop and drives it down to the 5. Antoine Partee had a shot and couldn't break down. Miko Smalls, the glancing blow from Partee, almost knocked Mr. Smalls on his number, but he wouldn't go down and got tiptoes and bounces on 1 foot and surfaces at the 5-yard line.
Athletic, that's what they call Smalls, athletic.
Amen. He'll take a snap here. There's a loose ball, a misexchange, a handoff the quarterback to the running back, Powell. It's inside the 5. Hebron says they got it. Our officials will agree, and it's Jacob Timish at the bottom of the stack with the fumble recovery. That Miko Smalls handoff to Deontay Powell, not near the breadbasket, was up here just below neck high, and it caromed off the shoulder pad of Powell and into the neutral zone beyond the line of scrimmage, a yard to the 4, and Timish sees it there and pounces on it, and Hebron lives to tell about a very promising Plano East possession.
I tell you, Joey McCullough is one of the most positive guys that we've interviewed in a long time, that you interviewed, Brad, but he's got to be a little frustrated with what's happening here so far with penalties and turnovers.
Hebron's second takeaway at 6:18 second quarter. We continue locked up at 7-7, and Hebron will deepen their own territory, will go conservative and play it inside a counter dive, and Angelo Garbett carry for 3 out to the 7-yard line, and Michael Alleman, an inside linebacker, one of those youngsters, a sophomore, is on the stop of Garbett, in fact, at the 8-yard line after the 4-yard pickup. Midway mark, quarter number 2, either team with a touchdown. Plano East through the air, 32 yards, Small to Amatosho. Hebron on the ground earlier, 14-yard run of Angelo Garbett. Richard Dodd, toss sweep. Garbett right side, steps out of a tackle, free, 15, sideline, 20, sideline 30, and he's finally chased out of bounds in the vicinity of the 35. They'll mark him 36-yard line. Boy, just a breath away from taking that thing the distance was Angelo Garbett, and that's a nice pursuit defensively by Plano East. The guy who made that stop is Hines, Anthony Hines III. In pursuit at the 37-yard line. Mueller downfield. Derek, the wide receiver, with another good, what those coaches call a stock block, and occupying defenders. Took Jordan Williams out of the play, and that cleared the far boundary for Angelo Garbett's scamper. First down earned at the 5:46 mark, second quarter. Keep feeding the beast, and Plano East is ready for Angelo this time. He took that little baby toss out of the backfield from his quarterback Dodd, and Angelo head down in traffic. No gain on the play. Second down, same 10. That's Hines one more time on the stop.
Hines just did a really nice job of shaking off the block and met Garbett right at the hole. Hines, a pretty big gentleman out there. Pretty good match for Angelo when they come up and meet each other at the hole.
Nathan Grant in at tight end, spelling Joe Martin at the moment. And Grant lines up tight to the right side. Martin in the game tight left. Running play, Garbett off right tackle, 40 free field, first down, midfield, put the landing gear down and scramble his way to the Plano East 47. Jordan Williams will be credited with the tackle, but another nice run by Angelo Garbett. And Trent, I know you're running numbers over there, and we'll check in a moment and see how Angelo's doing thus far this evening. He's kicked up the tempo a little bit. More carries here, second quarter. Go to him again. Right side, same play. Plano East there. Diagnosis on this particular occasion, and no gain on the play for Garbett. And on the stop for East is Dion Davis, junior, in there digging in at nose guard. 4.5 remaining, second quarter. Hebron with some work to do to untie this thing as they're confronted from the 47 in Plano East territory, second down and 10. Hawks working with sidelines, right open field, left side, high formation behind Dodd, who's under. Toss it to Angelo. Inside, ricochets wide. Now steps inside of a tackler at the 42 and carries inside the 40, and Garbett is weighed down at the 39-yard line. And on that stop for Plano East is one more time Anthony Hines, who has showed up big. What about Garbett?
Garbett, before that run, 8 carries, 64 yards.
Not bad. Garbett far and away the leading ball carrier for Hebron into tonight's ball game. 192 carries, 1,111 yards. Go to Garbett one more time behind the right side of his offensive line, trips over one of those linemen and goes down early, and it's fourth down and 3 for Hebron from the Plano East 40-yard line.
No doubt that the Hawks will go for it here on fourth down. They sure would like to score a touchdown before the end of the half here because they need some momentum to happen, some consistency in a drive.
Weston, one thing we haven't seen that we had a pretty good dose of last week in the Plano West game, the direct snap to Angelo Garbett. Have not seen that page of the playbook employed tonight by the offensive staff headed up by coordinator Jamie Carr.
Quick scoring update for you. Just the start of the second quarter. Allen's up 28-7 over Plano West.
Timeout for Hebron. They will burn it and stop that clock at 2:53 until halftime, and we'll step out with the Hawks. Our count, Hebron 7, Plano East 7, 2:53 until halftime.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Brad, a big fourth down here towards the end of the second quarter for the Hebron Hawks.
As a matter of fact, it is. The snap will be at 2:53. And confronting that fourth down and 3, by the way, from the Panther 40-yard line, here's Hebron offensively. In the backfield is Angelo Garbett. Out of a shotgun is quarterback Richard Dodd. Dodd on a play-action pass shoots a bullet across the way and in and out of the hands of Derek Mueller. About knee-high, perhaps a little low, a late flag in the secondary. Let's check that. Derek Mueller will be the first one to line up there and say, I should have caught it, even though the pass was a bit low. Mueller had some space there. Holding defensively will give Plano, or rather Hebron, another try. Joe Martin out in the pass pattern. I think he was being held by a linebacker in Austin Corbett. And it is first down for Hebron, and it's the first flag in a while on Plano East.
But a costly one. Hebron gets the first down now inside, right on the 30-yard line of the Plano East Panthers.
Yeah, it ends up costing the Panthers 10 yards and earns Hebron the fresh set of downs. First down 10 from the right hash mark under is Dodd. Running play Garbett between the guards in the secondary. 20, feeling left 15, on his way 10, to the 5, touchdown Angelo Garbett from 30 yards away. Derek Mueller threw a heck of a block down there on safety Alonte Williams, and that was where you saw Angelo a stutter step 7-8 yards upfield and then veering left and digging to the pylon and had space to get there from 30 yards away. Garbett, 13th touchdown on the year. Hebron with some personnel problems. Need 11 out there for the point after touchdown. Scoreboard shows Hebron has no timeouts to utilize. Play clock down to 8-7. Here comes player number 11 in a hurry, and it's Kyler Terry to try to get that point after touchdown. Hebron with the snap away in a hurry at the 1 second mark, and hurried Kyler Terry misfires, leaving it wide to the right side. The point after touchdown, no good. But a 30-yard Angelo Garbett touchdown run regains the lead for the Hawks by a half dozen. 2:39 as we go to break until halftime. New count from Kimbrough Stadium. Hebron 13, Plano East 7.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute. Online at gdyo.org/jazz.
A duo deploy for Plano East to return. Amatosho along with Tim Wilson. Horiatis with a very high short kick. A fair catch is called for and pulled out of the air by Zadok Wilson at the 29. Hebron mounts what is it, Weston? That's a distance drive. Recall, they gained the gratuity, the turnover, if you will, on the Plano East fumble, and that was deep in Hebron territory.
After the fumble, Hebron goes 9 plays, 96 yards, capped off by a 30-yard Angelo Garbett touchdown run. The extra point by Kyler Terry was missed, so it's now 13-7 Hebron with 2:38 left in the second quarter.
And Trent, if you had an asterisk on that play sheet, it had to be the penalty aid that Plano East gave Hebron after it looked like the Hawks had failed on 4th and 3. Here's Smalls. He'll scramble out of the pocket and zig and zag. The little sophomore quarterback going to run and do a little damage. 35 and out to the 40-yard line. And that is a gain of 11, giving 12-13 to the 43, the legs of Miko Smalls.
Boy, a really nice block out front by Zadok Wilson for the Plano East Panthers, allowing Smalls to get outside and get down the field.
I thought we'd have a competitive football game, and I bet we do for 4 quarters tonight. This is kind of fun.
Both teams, great coaches, want these kids to play hard, and that's what they're doing.
Here is Smalls out of the shotgun. First down earned at his 43. He'll look to throw. He'll shoot it long. Good coverage downfield by Colton Chapin. Now a flag. The intended receiver was Ade Amatosho inside the 20 near the 15-yard line, but a couple of markers are down. Colton Chapin was locked up with Amatosho stride for stride, and the pass was hung up in the air by Miko Smalls deep, but Amatosho had to put on the brakes and wait for it. Let's see what we have.
Pass interference. I think the back judge and the line judge were talking about who it was on because they issued the flag at the same time, and it looks like it's going to be against the Hebron Hawks.
It is. Pass interference on Hebron, actually on Colton Chapin individually. And it'll cost Hebron 15 and give Plano East the first down in Hawk territory at the 42-yard line with 2:20 remaining until halftime. The Hebron lead at 6. So it works for 15. Here's Smalls, running play inside, big hole, busting it to the 30 and down to the 25-yard line. That's Javon Redmond, like a surprise party that Hebron wasn't ready for. Partee, the delinquent tackle back at the 24-yard line.
I think what we saw defensively, the Hawks were trying to do a twist on the line, and they both got caught in the same zone.
And there was a
huge hole.
Big hole for Javon Redmond. Here's Plano East just inside of 2 minutes. Small's going to run it and keep it off tackle right side. Hebron bangs him down after the gain of only 3, and really paying for it there is young Mr. Miko Smalls.
Clay Holford, he can still be one that brings the wood for the Hebron Hawks.
He did. Right there. Good to see Clay back into the ball game here. He missed the last 2 with a foot injury. And Hebron missed Clay Holford, and I'll make you a promise, Trent Lynch, Clay Holford missed playing football. That's a kid that loves to lock it up on Friday nights. Hebron's 3-year starter at inside linebacker. Snap to Smalls, whistles and flags, and Plano East one more time will be called for the false start.
They just seem out of sorts on offense, Brad. Lots of false starts, and they're a team similar to Hebron where just not always a great team at 2nd and long and 3rd and long. And they put themselves in that position.
And you look out there, and they have some wonderful athletes, some very nice size.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a few different quarterbacks through the year behind the center, and all have different timing, and you have to adjust to that on a consistent basis. Just injuries can cause a lot of problems.
Now, 2nd down and 12. Smalls looking, and throwing in deep to the end zone. Incomplete, another flag, and that'll be another pass interference call on Hebron defensively on Omar Hicks-Onu on the intended receiver, the angular 6'4" Tim Wilson, and it'll cost Hebron 15 yards. I'm just sure of that. Hicks-Onu had Wilson get behind him. Onu tried to use the closing speed to close with the ball in the air, and I think he banged up against Wilson while the ball was still airborne.
Just a really nice design of play on that one, Brad. East sent Zadok Wilson out into the flat. Hicks-Onu was coming up like it was going to go to Zadok, who's a consistent receiver for East, and then just
Tim Wilson's down there going deep at full speed.
And Hicks-Onu was quick enough to get back to it, but just not quite quick enough to.
But you could almost see Omar saying, I better kick it into reverse and in a hurry. The 15-yard mark off on the Hawks pass interference will give Plano East a first down as the football now resting at the Hawks' 11-yard line. Watch the clock, 51 seconds until halftime. Smalls out of a shotgun. There's the quick snap. There's the pump fake. There's the keep wide to the right side. There's Hebron defensively riding down Miko Smalls. Chris Brayman a piece of the tackle. Corey Eberhard a piece of the tackle. And the gain of 3 to the 8-yard line by Smalls.
Nice defense by the Hawks there. Everybody kept their lanes. They were committed to doing what they needed to do, and they didn't didn't give on the pump fake.
Yeah, didn't buy the bait there.
And use the sideline as their own piece of defense over there, forcing Smalls to go way out wide.
A timeout called by Plano East to freeze the second quarter clock at the 33-second mark. Give us a chance to just take a quick look back at this Plano East program. I mentioned their deepest playoff penetration was in the Scott Phillips era, 1999. They got all the way to the state quarterfinals, where they lost to the Garland Owls, a team that went on to win an eventual state championship. Joey McCullough in his first year as a head coach, the 7th coach here is Plano East, playing in their 33rd varsity season. All got underway back in 1982 when the second high school in the Plano ISD was opened here on the Sunrise side. Jake Swan, the initial head coach, 2 years, won 7, lost 11. Boy, and then Plano East found their stride. Mike Bailey, 10-year record, 1984 through 93, 70 wins, 35 losses in a tie. Here came Scott Phillips for 8 years, winning 68 while losing only 26, 1994 through 2001.
But lately, it's been kind of a coaching merry-go-round for these Panthers.
McCullough, third coach in 3 years. Off tackle, the handoff is to Redmond, driving from the 8 and turned around near the 6-yard line. Is Javon Redmond off tackle right side behind the block of Charles Edgett. And that was the stop sign delivered by Clay Holford. And Plano East will spend their last time out after that big-time run from 84 through 2001 under Mike Bailey and Scott Phillips. John Crawford was here and had a very credible 2-year run, 2002 and 2003. Coach Crawford, now the athletic director of the Coppell Independent School District, won 17 of his 24 ball games. Johnny Ringo had a 9-year run, 2004 through 2012, a game over 500 at 49 and 48. Last year, the quick in, the quick out of Randy Jackson, 1 year, and he wins 5 while losing 5. And that's a quick look at Plano East Panther football. Always played a very physical game over here on the east side for the decades, certainly under Mike Bailey and Scott Phillips. Wow.
Well, I think you could tell in the interview prior to the game, Brad, that you're going to see that same physical football now that they found their football coach here at Plano East. You bet. Joey McCullough, you can just tell the enthusiasm. He wants to build it. He wants his dream job, which he said, and he's going to work and work to make it happen.
And that's a good story. You can see a guy in the sparkling design. He says, the dream job, and I got it.
Yep.
Here at Plano East. By the way, the Panthers with 2 very active players in the National Football League. The really good offensive lineman, both of them, by the way, out of the University of Texas, Justin Blaylock, all everything. And, of course, Keenan Robinson, the linebacker for the Redskins, whose knee ended up in the back of Tony Romo on Monday night.
I don't think that made many Cowboy fans happy around here.
Here's Smalls after the timeout, rolling left, throwing in a crowd in the end zone. Is that caught? No, that's incomplete. Bobbled by Zadok Wilson, who was covered and very tightly and very well by Hebron's Omar Hicks-Onu.
Omar Hicks-Onu, just a great athlete. And boy, he brought stability to that defensive backfield when he came back from an injury.
Let me tell you something. Zadok Wilson did everything but catch that thing. Finally juggled it away because that was airtight coverage by Hicks-Onu. Field goal time on 4th down and 3 from the 5-yard line. And in steps Henry Matson. He'll knock this thing out of a hold at the 12-yard line, the 22-yard attempt. Good snap, good spot. Kick on the way. Matson drives it home. And tack on 3, and the Plano East Panthers are now into double figures on the 22-yard field goal with a mere 9 seconds remaining until halftime. Off of the right instep of one Henry Matson, M-A-T-T-S-O-N. And on Halloween night, he gets the 22-yard late second quarter field goal. And Plano East pulls to within a 3 by Booten a 3. Now, a new count here is Hebron 13 and Plano East 10. Again, only 9 ticks remaining in our first quarter. Score comes at the 09 mark. I'll fill in the play sheet here, and Trent Lynch will bring us up to speed on a very handsome late second quarter possession that ends up in points, 3 of them for Plano East.
Yeah, actually, Brad, 66 yards on 8 plays, 2 minutes, 30 seconds off the clock. A 22-yard field goal brings this score to 13-10. Hebron over Plano East. The missed extra point by the Hebron Hawks now, can always come back to haunt you.
Going to loom large. Chances are to loom very large before we get out of here. It is Henry Matson to boot it away for Plano East with Hebron deploying. Omar Hicks-Onu along with Christian Dawson. The approach from Matson. Onside attempt. Hebron going to field it and going to cover it inside the 40. And we'll go the other way. Boy, looking for some late second quarter.
And the clock's still running.
Now it'll stop with 3 seconds, and Hebron will have one snap before we call it a second quarter. Hebron 1 win, 7 losses. Plano East 1 win, 7 losses. And you did bring up the point, the win for either ball club over Flower Mound. Hebron a couple of weeks ago, 37-27 over the Jaguars. And previously this season, some 5 games ago, Plano East in the district opener, 27-24 over Flower Mound. One final snap and a knee for Dodd, and halftime is upon us at Tom Kimbrough Stadium in Murphy. And a pretty good and pretty competitive Halloween first half. Our score through 2 quarters, the Hebron Hawks 13, the Panthers of Plano East 10. You're listening to Hawk Football. You're on Champion Sports Radio.
Sensor. The shock box is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShockboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
Alongside Trent Lynch, alongside Weston Lynch, I'm Brad Denton, Champion Sports Radio, where we want to be on a fall Friday night, particularly Halloween night, at the ball yard, working this one out of District 6A. And it's a ball game we thought would be very competitive, has been very competitive. The scoreboard will serve as evidence of that with Hebron's lead at a mere 3 points at the halftime. 13 for the Hawks and 10 for the Plano East Panthers. Very quickly, how we got here, Hebron gets on the board first. A first quarter drive off the opening kickoff, and, man, they made it look easy. As a matter of fact, I beg your pardon, Plano East did take the opening kickoff, and they turned the football over. An interception by Hebron's Isaiah Gary gave Hebron a pretty short field as they took over at the Hawk 47-yard or 33-yard line in Plano East territory after the Isaiah Gary interception of Miko Smalls, and only took the Hawks 3 plays to score the touchdown on play number 3, a 14-yard Angelo Garbett carry. Very nicely done by Angelo, his 12th rushing touchdown of the year. Kyler Terry made true with the point after touchdown, and with only less than 2 minutes into this thing, in fact, only a minute 17 into the ballgame at the 10:43 mark, quarter number 1, Hebron had raced out of the gates with the takeaway and the touchdown, 7-0 Hawks. Plano East came back after a couple of Panther possessions where they seemed to be locked into neutral. They finally got some things going midway third quarter and mounted a 9-play drive that finally found the end zone at the 33-second mark of that first quarter of play. They went upstairs to get it, a 32-yard strike delivered by sophomore quarterback Miko Smalls to the wide receiver here, who Adi Amatosho caught it at the 1, able to back into the end zone, pretty well covered, and a good fight by Amatosho to come away with the football and the touchdown. Henry Madison's point after touchdown squared it up, 7-7. We sat there as we turned first quarter into second quarter. and the first marker on that board in the second quarter, rather late in the second quarter, after the teams traded possessions. In fact, Plano East with a very promising drive that ended up with a misexchange, the malfunction at the junction. Couldn't make the handoff cleanly. Miko Smalls, the sophomore quarterback, and junior running back Deontay Powell. And Powell coughs it up. Back to the line of scrimmage, and Hebron recovers. Jacob Timish, an outside linebacker, pounces on it at the 4-yard line. From there, Hebron goes to work, and the Hawks mount a 9-play drive covering the 96 yards in 3 minutes and 39 seconds. They were certainly aided by a Plano East defensive holding call on a 4th down and 3, the play before the Angelo Garbett 30-yard touchdown run that comes at the 2:39 mark of that first quarter. After Hebron confronted with 4th and 3 through an incomplete pass, it looked like Plano East had held. The Panthers would take over on downs, but hang on a flag in the secondary, and our referee very adamant in his call holding defensively against Plano East. The Hawks were awarded a fresh set of downs, and on that first down from the 30, galloping in from 30 yards away, Angelo Garbett, second of the night, number 13 on the year. Terry with the point after touchdown. Hebron had personnel problems. You know, it takes 11 at a time. They only had 10 and had no timeouts. Sent that 11th man on there. He was fighting the play clock, finally got in the stance, and a hurried snap was not a good one. And the holder, Colton Chapin, had to fight to get it on the tee, and by the time he did, and Terry swung the right leg through, it was way out of kilter, and Terry's kick was well wide to the right side, and no good. Hebron's lead. 2:39 remaining until halftime, 13-7. But Plano East, the Panthers weren't done. A nice kickoff return, good field position. They marched 66 yards, do it in 8 plays before the drive stalls out, and they call on Henry Matson, to kick a field goal at the 9-second mark of quarter number 2. Matson good from 22 yards away, and that completes the arrangements from where we stand through a couple of quarters. The Hebron lead by 3. Hawks 13 and the Panthers 10.
Brad, just, one of those halves where neither offense could find that just consistent drive to get all the way through, whether it was a penalty, whether it was just not finding that rhythm, missed,
drop passes.
But overall, both teams just, out there working it, trying to work it, and working hard. And see if they can get that ball into the end zone.
I like the feel of what's going on over here at Plano East, and I think a lot of people here in Plano do with Joey McCullough. You mentioned our pregame interview. How positive yet with a drive to discipline came out of the conversation. And I've known Joey for a couple of decades now, and I talked to him about it during the interview. One of us in the conversation was once a player, and the other one was doing what he does, and that would be me, and that would be Mr. McCullough as a player, and he was a part of really the initial surge of excellence in the football program at Plano East. Mike Bailey had just taken over the program into the 1984 season, and East had a very good season in 1984 and qualified as the runner-up. That was back when only 2 teams qualified for the playoffs, and made it to the playoffs, and I think got everybody's attention for the first time in only the 3rd year of varsity play in a bi-district game at Texas Stadium on a Saturday afternoon that ended up in a flat-footed 14-14 tie against the dreaded and the feared Dallas Carter Cowboys, with Plano East advancing on what was then the first tiebreaker penetrations. That was Joey McCullough's junior year. His senior year, very special in 1985. Plano East goes 3 rounds in the playoffs, and the Panthers earn their initial district championship, and that was tough to do because those were the salad days of the other school across town back then, Plano Senior High School.
It was great to hear Joey McCullough prior to the game talking about the discipline side and the kids showing up clean-shaven and wearing the same colored socks and all that of what it takes to build a proud football program. And understanding when you have 3 coaches in 3 years,
you need the stability.
You need that stability.
He's a guy that's going to bring it. And Joey's old school. I'm telling you, he learned a bunch, and he's the first one to line up and admit it. in his 10 years at Plano East on staff under Scott Phillips and John Crawford. In the past dozen years, boy, didn't he roll out the accolades towards his time spent with Mike Hughes in the Plano West program.
Ton of respect for Mike Hughes, and he told us that a lot of what he's doing right now is because of what he learned at Plano West and Mike Hughes, and it was nice to hear him say how happy he is for Mike in the season that he's having this year with his Plano West Wolves and the thing that they're doing on the field week in and week out.
It'll get better for Plano West. They won't see many seasons where they're 1-7 going into game number 9, and same can be said for the Hebron Hawks. I don't think that this will be anything more than an aberration, winning one of their first 8 in 2014.
Brad, we talked earlier about these kids having to learn life through loss, and can't win every ball game, but reality is this is really the first time that this Hebron coaching staff has gone through this, other than the beginning of the program when there were no expectations of wins, and you're just trying to bring a team to the field that you can start to build a program from. And so I guarantee you that Coach Brazel and Coach Mock and everyone else on the sidelines over there, they have to live some of those same thoughts and feelings that some of those seniors and juniors and sophomores and freshmen are experiencing.
And in all my years of following football teams, Trent, I don't know if I recall one where there was more talent lost between the 2013 Hebron Hawks and the 2014 Hebron Hawks, and then you add the injuries that have befallen this team in 2014. But recall a year ago, Hebron was flat out, truthfully loaded, and they ended up winning 8 and losing 4. And boy, I'll tell you what, 2 of those losses were to the teams that ended up being the 2 Class 5A state champions a year ago.
And played the Division I champion off their feet.
That was fun. It was fun. We'll take a break right here. In the background, you hear the melodies by the marching band of Hebron High School, along with a nice routine by the Silver Wings drill team with Trent Lynch. I'm Brad Denton. We remind you our halftime count at Hebron 13, Plano East 10. Halftime programming continues in a moment on Champion Sports Radio.
Is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Take your choice and pay just $269 a month on new Chrysler Town & Countries or Dodge Grand Caravans. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Chrysler 300s or Dodge Chargers at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huffines has it.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Do you need a boost in exposure? Want to reach local community-minded folks with information about your business? Join the team and advertise during these games. Advertising during high school broadcasts allows your business to reach thousands of local fans right from your community. We use the latest technology in sports broadcasting so that fans at the game will be able to listen live to the broadcast and the commercials. It's also a way for your business to give back to the community by helping all of these well-deserving student-athletes get some recognition for their accomplishments. The cost simply cannot be beat for the effect it will have. You get a lot of bang for your buck. And best of all, it provides an opportunity for the best advertisement of all, word of mouth. To secure your prime commercial spot during the broadcast, contact Thomas Lee at Champion Sports Radio by phone at 972-741-0334. That's 972-741-0334 or online at championsportsradio.com. Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow at Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/championsportsradio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and facebook.com/championsportsradio, your home for championship social media.
Hanging around the old Tommy Kimbrough Stadium press box here on a Friday night. Brad Denton along with Trent, along with Weston Lynch. And please, you're spending a portion of your Friday evening with us. We spewed superlatives about first-year head coach Joy McCullough of Plano East. And I want to tip my hat to one of the guys that makes Friday nights fun and meaning something. And that's Hebron's head coach, the veteran in Brian Brazel in his 15th year. Taking good aim tonight on career win number 107, that against 65 losses. All of those wins and losses at Hebron. Coach Brazel opened the doors at Hebron in the 1999-2000 school year, a sub-varsity season, that initial season. The first varsity year for Hebron was back in 2000. That was a ball club that went nothing for 10 on the year. And from there, 4-6 in 2001, and then on their way in year number 3, 2002, qualifying for the playoffs for a first time. Got all the way to the top of the hill in 2005, claiming the Class 4A Division II state championship. That final win, a sweet one, down at the Palace on Palmer, there in Round Rock, as they call it, 28-0 over the Wildcats of Corpus Christi, Cal Allen. Other than that, deep Hebron playoff penetrations, quarterfinalist, going 3-1 in the postseason in 2007, a couple of times 2008, and again last year in 2013. Hebron goes 1 win, 1 loss in the playoffs. But Brian Brazel's special. He's a product of Pasadena Independent School District, a graduate of Sam Rayburn High School, a graduate of Texas Christian University, played football at TCU in the mid-'80s under then head coach, the late Jim Wacker. Brian Brazel was an all-Southwest Conference offensive lineman for the Horned Frogs, and trust me, Coach Brazel's absolutely thrilled to death anytime TCU does what they're doing here in 2014 football-wise, and he's anxious to see what his ball club can do in the second half with Plano East. He's really anxious after looking at what Hebron has next year or next week in the regular season finale. The playoff-bound Boyd Broncos of McKinney coming to call it Hawk Stadium after they put together a little game plan starting tomorrow. I can assure you Brian Brazel will be shutting it down for TCU and West Virginia tomorrow night. But a special guy, and our Weston Lynch ran down and caught up with Hebron's veteran head man and talked to Brian about half number 1 at Kimbrough Stadium.
Coach Brazel, your defense forces 2 turnovers in the first half. You get 13 points off of it. What do you take from those turnovers that you received instead of giving up this time?
Well, it's big time because, one was like they're about to go in and score. And for us to get the turnover there was good. And then we got a big stop, forced them to have to do a field goal, which was another big play after we missed the extra point. And then, of course, getting the first one of the game, kind of get a little momentum going, get the ball deep on their end of the field. But, again, to take that ball like we did and go 90-some-odd yards, that was a great drive for us. And we just need to continue to control the clock like we did there in the second quarter and, and do things we were supposed to do.
The quarterback Smalls having a lot of success on the quarterback keep. What do you do to slow him down and contain him from running the ball?
Well, we got to get lined up right. A lot of times we're calling stunts and things, and our guys aren't running the stunts right. As you see, we got a lot of different guys. We're just throwing them in as we go. And guys, we had 2 with defensive ends lined up on the same side on one of them. And so you can't, things like that can't happen. But we just got to get those things short up at halftime. That should help us a bunch.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, brother.
There he is, Weston Lynch talking to Brian Brazel. It's something that happens a couple of times every Friday night. And, Wes, we appreciate your hustle going down and visiting with Coach Brazel on his way in at halftime, and you do the same thing in the post game, and we very much appreciate it. And you bring us back up here, sort of a feel of what's going on down there. And you came back this time and kind of gave it a positive head shake and said it's pretty good, particularly compared to last week.
Yeah, players and coaches alike both, got a little jog coming off the field, joking around, smiling. It's good to see it. A little bounce in the step tonight.
That's good. Hebron needs some good things to happen to him because, doggone it, it's just tough to get up and dust yourself off as often as they have had to, and particularly when you're on the short end of that 57 scoreboard that was the total tally a week ago at Hawk Stadium in Hebron versus Plano West.
Yeah, it's almost a summary of the season when you hear Coach Brazel talk about two defensive ends lining up on the same side, and that's not because the players don't necessarily know what they're doing, but so many injuries on the defensive front. These kids are practicing in different positions. They might get reps one week, didn't have reps for the first half of the season, and I'm sure that's had an impact just on how they line up and making sure that they're keeping track of what their responsibilities are defensively and even offensively.
Trent, that defensive end position for Hebron, the cavity there, the confusion perhaps created by the extended absence of senior starter David Brazel, who is the son of Brian Brazel, the Hebron head coach. And, both Brian and David, chins are up and what have you. But, that's kind of a staggering shot there when David, such a good Hawk and looks so forward to his senior season and played very well in the first third of the season, but has been out since about game number 4 with a foot injury. And we talked to Brian about it before the ball game, and we said early on there was hope David would be back to play the regular season finale. He nodded his head and said David will be back and will be able to practice next week and will be able to play in game number 10 as they close out the year at home with McKinney Boyd.
Yeah, it's one of those situations, Brad, where, it's a coach's dream to coach their own kid, right? Especially when that kid has a love for the game that you have a love for as a coach. And you know that both of them were looking forward to, both Brian and David, looking forward to this, the senior year, David's last year as a Hebron Hawk, to spend that year together on the sidelines and on the field. And it's just too bad that David could not make it through the entire season. And what a kid. I mean, but he continues to work hard, he continues to rehab hard, and that will get him back for
He'll be back
the last game of the season.
I'll make you wish that nobody, and I mean nobody, has witnessed more Hebron Hawk football than David Brazel. There's pictures around the field house where he's on the field with Dad before a playoff game, and he's not much more than knee high.
And probably at almost every practice too.
yeah, the ball boy. But it's a lot of fun, and it'll be fun next week when McKinney Boyd comes to call. And again, to recap something we touched on in the pregame, all the playoff entries have been earned out of District 6A with the Thursday night tandem of ball games with Plano, surprisingly defeating a pretty good Marcus team that they're finished. They have the Game 10 bye, so the Marcus Marauders under first-year coach Jerry Sanford will close right at sea level, 5 wins and 5 losses. But surprising that Hebron took it on the chin to a tune, or rather Marcus took it on the chin to a tune of 41-7 at Clark Field last night. Plano Wildcats playing very well, coming off of a loss 2 weeks ago in their latest outing to Boyd.
Well, Plano gets their senior quarterback, injured quarterback, who hadn't played all year, essentially, getting hurt with the broken tibia.
In the opener.
The opener, Brooks Panahans, who actually played a pretty nice game last year against Hebron, is a dual threat. And, boy, he seemed to just get right back into his groove last night against the Marauders. And when you see a team go up 35 points against Marauders early, that doesn't happen very often.
And play good defense against that Marcus team that has a big, strong offensive line, a good running game, but only able to muster the touchdown, losing to Plano 41-7. The other ball game on a Thursday night up at Ron Poe Stadium in McKinney, where homestanding Boyd outscores Louisville 31-17, the final. And I think that one might have been closer than the 14-point threat at the end.
You really have to feel good about Louisville and their football season. It's been a program that has been down, and And, once that happens, a lot of times it's really hard to get that success back. And, boy, the Farmers just put it together this year, and they threatened to get into the playoffs for the first time in several years.
Yeah, they finished up, or haven't finished up, but 4-4 and 3-3 in District 6A play. So the playoffs will go to Allen, will go to Plano West. McKinney Boyd earns an invitation, as do the Plano Wildcats. And while we're scrambling around here, we might check some partials in from district ball yards. I guess the biggest one, the brightest lights in District 6-6A tonight, shining across town at John Clark Field, where Plano West, the Wolves, are playing host to the state's top-ranked Allen Eagles, a two-time defending champion. The only other ball game right here at Kimbrough Stadium, and I look to Weston Lynch to see if we have a partial score from Clark Field.
Allen, Plano West just went to halftime. Plano West missed a field goal with 3 seconds left. Allen's up 49-21 going into half. Soso Jamambo hurt last week against Hebron. Tonight, 22 carries for 186 yards already.
He's special. Yeah, he was special. We saw him for just about a half and dinged up there late second quarter, and he walked off with the shoulder pads off before halftime with 148 yards and 4 touchdowns. But Trent?
What impresses me, actually, is we saw that Plano West defense last week.
Play a little bit.
A good defense, fast, covered the field, but 49 points against that defense in the first half. It's pretty impressive by the Allen Eagles.
I think it is, and I think it speaks to what Allen is and can be offensively. I just think they're a very special football team offensively, and it's going to be interesting to see how Allen navigates the playoff path, and can they string together 6 more consecutive postseason wins and call it a three-peat for Coach Westerberg and the Allen Eagles.
2 more scores for you. They kind of surprised me. Skyline, Carrollton R.L. Turner. Skyline's up 28-14 at half.
Go Lions.
And then Cedar Hill with the big win last week over DeSoto.
Was it ever?
21-21 with Mansfield at half.
Now, Mansfield, they played some pretty good ball, the Mansfield schools, this year. Remember, we worked Mansfield's Tigers a couple of years ago in a playoff game, and they gave the Trinity Trojans all they want. We saw Mansfield Timberview last year. Hebron lost on the road on a Thursday night in just game 2 of 2013, but Cedar Hill being pushed there at halftime, and that's interesting. In fact, let's take a quick look, something we haven't done much of this year, but it's kind of fun to look how the Associated Press football polls will stack up the top 10 11s around the Lone Star State. In Class 5A here through 8 weeks of play, Allen top ranked, the Eagles at 8-0. Southlake Carroll pulls in at number 2 in the Class 6A poll. The Carroll Dragons have dodged a couple of bullets, but they do find the win column on a regular basis. How about 8 wins in as many starts?
Using a running game versus the passing game.
They are, and playing a very credible line of defensive football over there for Coach Watson and the boys. Go down south to find number 3 ranked, the Oilers of Pearland. Ranked number 4 is Manville. Come back to the Metroplex to find the number 5 ranked Dallas Skyline Raiders and Cedar Hill Longhorns. Pull in at number 6, the first team in the top 10 to be tagged with the loss, Cedar Hill at 7-1, followed by San Antonio Brennan. Euless Trinity at number 8. The Trojans 8-1. DeSoto now 7-1, and the Eagles are at number 9 in front of the number 10 ranked Cibolo Steel out of the San Antonio area. In Class 5A, Aledo leads the way at 7-1, followed by the Temple Wildcats, Fort Bend, Ridgepoint. Here's Mansfield Timberview at number 4, Class 5A. Timberview at 7 wins, 1 loss, followed by George Ranch out of Richland. And Corpus Christi Flower Buff. Ennis in at number 7. Fort Bend Elkins, followed by Houston King and John Tyler at number 10. In Class 4A, the Navasota Rattlers top the ranking, followed by the North Texas entry in from Argyle. 8 wins and no losses for Argyle. A little Hebron Hawk blood over there on the Argyle staff as longtime offensive coordinator Shane Nanny continues to work with the Argyle youngsters, and wasn't it fun to see Coach Nanny in his first year after the longest time at Hebron, go over to Argyle and get another state championship last year.
Yeah, and he probably wouldn't recognize this Hebron offense as much as it's changed since he ran it.
Gilmer, the Buckeyes, the Class 4A's number 3 ranked team, followed by Kennedale. LaGrange, the Lamarck Cougars at number 6, followed by the Vandals of Van, Gladewater, Lavernia, and Sour Lake Hardin Jefferson round out the Class 4A top 10. In Class 3A go out west for Cisco for the top-ranked team. And in Class 2A, it's Refugio, always tough, Refugio at 8-1 to top the Class 2A Associated Press Texas High School football poll through 8 weeks of play.
How does that G become an R?
I don't know. And how do you learn that it is an R? Because I'll be the first one to line up and admit back very early in the career, which was a long, long time ago, Trent, I was guilty until corrected of mentioning that Refugio has a pretty good football team.
Back when the days when I said Mexia instead of Mejia, right? Just real quick, Brad, before we break, getting ready for the second half, some quick stats here for the first half. Hebron had 8 first downs, Plano East 12. 21 rushing attempts for the Hebron Hawks, 132 yards, a little over 6 yards per carry. 1 for 3 passing the ball, 7 yards, so a total of 139 yards for the Hebron Hawks. Of course, 132 of those running the ball. No turnovers for the Hawks, 5 penalties, 45 yards. East had 114 yards on 24 carries, almost 5 yards per carry, 5 for 9 passing the ball, 66 yards, total of 180 yards in the first half versus Hebron's 139. However, there was 1 interception, first drive of the ball game for Plano East Panthers, and then the fumble down on the 2-yard line for the Panthers results in 2 turnovers and 6 penalties, 32 yard on those penalties for Plano East.
The takeaways for Hebron: the interception early, corner Isaiah Gary. The second quarter fumble was recovered by an outside linebacker in Jacob Timish. And Trent, I say this not to say you get 1 in 7 football teams in here and it becomes who makes the least mistakes. I don't mean to sound like that, but I can assure you a factor in this thing will be penalty flags, because Brian Brazel, his staff, 5, not that many, but too many in the first half of play. Joey McCulley and his staff look and say, hey, that's 6 costly penalties in the first half of play. Wes?
A point on Isaiah Gary. I made sure to see if I could find him on the sideline when they were walking off. Walking without a limp, but without a cleat on, so I don't know if we'll see him again in the second half.
They've had to, next guy up has been Colton Chapin in that Hebron secondary, spelling Isaiah Gary. And Isaiah Gary has been a terrific player. And this is a kiddo that didn't play football for, the last couple of years, has been involved with Coach Bishop's basketball program. He'll go to Coach Bishop's basketball program after the Game 10 finale next week. But Isaiah Gary, for a kiddo who hadn't played football in a while, just jumped on the horse and rode it pretty good here in his junior year.
A pretty good basketball program for Coach Bishop and the Hebron Hawks.
Sorry. We go to break here. Invite you to stay tuned. We'll kick the back half of this one off on the other side of the timeout through 2 quarters. Our count: Hebron 13 and Plano East 10 on Champion Sports Radio.
The end is here. To get Huff Heinz' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Heinz Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on new Huff Heinz Jeep Liberties. Only $269 a month on new Huff Heinz Chrysler 200s. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Jeep Grand Cherokees or Dodge Durangos. At both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huff Heinz has it.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Shell experts here to talk about the protective shield you see at Shell stations all over the country. Featuring us. It's there to remind you that no other gasoline protects your engine better than Shell nitrogen-rich gasolines. Now with 20% more cleaning agents than before.
Performance-robbing gunk doesn't stand a chance because your intake valves and fuel injectors are protected.
Actively shielded.
Hence the big protective shield here.
So try Shell nitrogen-rich gasolines today. No other gasoline protects your engine better.
For quality auto service and repair, see the folks at Flat Shell on Preston Road at I-635.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
We remind you that Hebron Hawk football is brought to you in part by Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, by Whirly Ball, by In Command Broadcasting, by Point of Origin Design, by ShockboxDFW.com, and by the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra and new GDYO Jazz Institute. Third quarter underway on a Plano East kickoff off the foot of Henry Matson, picked up by Christian Dawson inside the 10, veering right between the hash marks 20 and out across the 25 to the 30, and Christian Dawson jets his way out to the 36-yard line. Tackled by Alante Williams of Plano East, and even with a 3-point lead in possession of the football. Early third quarter, 13-10 our count. Hebron featuring Brian Drew at center. Keith Thomas and Devin Wright, the Hawk guards. The tackles are Freddie Danchez on the left side, Hayden Seeley on the right side. The tight end is Joe Martin. Wide receivers Jalen Slater and Derek Mueller. Richard Dodd under its center and I formation behind him, and it's a tailback with the carry. Angelo Garbett behind the left side of the line, right? The guard, Danchez. The tackle, tight end Joe Martin, and they'll blow Panthers out of the neutral zone. And the carry for half dozen across the 40 to the 42 for Angelo Garbett. Anthony Hines III featured on the stop for Plano East defensively. Get a look and an identification on that Hebron Hawk fullback in Jacob Ragsdale. Again, out of that I set, second down and 4. Running play, right side wide. That's Garbett, or rather that's Dawson, Christian Dawson working at tailback and with good speed. The carry across midfield and downfield for 3 more steps to the 47 in territory of Plano East. Christian Dawson with a rare carry, only carry number 17 or 18 on the year.
He's quick, though, Brad. When he gets the ball, he really gets out there in a hurry.
Ragsdale at fullback, and now Garbett is checked back in at tailback. First down earned at the Plano East 47. Toss sweep, Garbett right side for 5 for 6, and down to the 41-yard line goes Angelo Garbett, roughed up there by strong side linebacker Austin Corbett. He's been working in this third quarter from right to left, from south to north, into a pretty good breeze in from the north. Up front, Bryson Royal at nose guard. The Panther defensive ends are Deion Davis along with Trayvon Ransom. Linebackers, Michael Alleman along with Corbett inside. Outside backers are Donald and French. Second down, 4.5 from the 41. Plano East territory. Again, little toss, right side, Garbett the corner. Garbett a first down. A stutter step move. Now a stop and go, and inside the 35 to the 30. And rolling behind to Keith Thomas, the pulling guard, block in front, the tackle to Trayvon Ransom in pursuit, and the carry of Angelo Garbett to the Panther 29.
That is 2 plays in a row. Jacob Ragsdale out of the fullback position, just making beautiful blocks, allowing Garbett to get out of the backfield and into the secondary.
Hebron shows Joe Martin, the tight end, on the right side. And again, they'll work from a shotgun set. Ragsdale in the backfield. Throwing play, far side, caught by Mueller. Good pass by Dodd. The catch at the 25, the carry to the 24, the gain of 5. Jordan Williams on the cover and shucks Derek Mueller out of bounds across the way at the 24-yard line. A very handsome drive, nice rhythm offensively, Wes, for Hebron off the third quarter kickoff.
Moving the ball well. They're spreading Plano East out. Garbett able to run up the middle, and then they play action, get it to Mueller.
Here's sophomore Richard Dodd. His first start was the Allen game. Running play. Garbett. Slow plays it inside. That's a fine tackle right there by Corbett, that inside linebacker. Garbett was being patient and trying to find a little wrinkle to ride, and then Corbett just speared his way back into the backfield and nailed Garbett at the line of scrimmage. Trey Pugh will spell Garbett for the moment at tailback.
Really impressed with Corbett. He seems very disciplined, always in the right position to make the play. Really good athlete.
Pugh has yet to carry the football tonight in a tailback. Here's his first carry. Oh, and he's going to be stoned for a loss by Hines, who will spin down Trey Pugh on top of the 29-yard line. The loss of 5, and 3rd down and 5 for Hebron from the 29 in Plano East territory. If I said 3rd down and 5, I beg your pardon. It's 4th down and 10 for the Hawks from the 29.
A drive that started so promising in the last 2 plays, resulting in negative yards, and that time just a beautifully timed blitz coming through the guard and tackle, and Pugh had no opportunity to even get going on that play.
Jalen Goodwin wide left, wide right, a tandem including Mueller, the favorite target. Out of a shotgun. There's the snap, and it's off the hand of Dodd, who has to retreat and retrieve it and recover it way back at the 37.5-yard line. The ball goes over to Plano East, a loss on 4th and 10 of 8 yards.
That time, East was going to bring a blitz from both corners, you could tell, and I think Dodd saw that and was trying to get set up early so he could get rid of the ball and just didn't watch it all the way into his hands.
Caromed off the left hand, and he had to jump on it back at the 38. From there, trailing by 3, here's Plano East. First possession, second half. Throw it in the near flat. That's caught at the 40, and the carry to the 45 for Zadok Wilson. And a gain of 7 in total. Colton Chapin first hit, and the second hit goes to Omar Hicks-Onu. Chapin working at one corner. Onu at one of the safeties. It's Onu along with Lynch. Jason Lynch working at safety. And on the corners for Hebron, Jelani Heath and Colton Chapin. Inside linebackers, Clay Holford and Jamison Cooper. Dallas Shigoya and Corey Everhart are the Hawk outside backers. Hang on, a flag false start one more time against Plano East. And that is one frustrated head coach in his first year in Joey McCullough. As you see him going through the histrionics on the near sideline, and I don't know if he's barking at the officiating crew so much as just frustrated with his own ball club.
Well, that's 7 penalties, and 5 of those penalties being false starts on the offense.
So the Panthers kick it into reverse, and now after the nice gain, it's 2nd down and 8 from near the 40. They're into the field. Here's a little quarterback keeper, and that's Smalls, galloping wide to the right side, steps to the 40-45, and almost picks up the 8. In fact, 7 of the 8 before Jamison Cooper can chase the elusive sophomore Panther quarterback out of bounds at his 48-yard line. So now Plano East, in fact, they will say, not good enough for a first down, move the sticks and give Plano East a fresh set at the Panther 40-yard line. At the 6:41 mark, quarter number 3. Hebron off of a third quarter kickoff, a handsome drive for the Hawks, but they end up with the pockets empty, turning the ball over on downs. And here's Plano East trying to answer. Running play. That's Powell scooting it between left guard, left tackle, and that nice sachet move by Powell takes it to the secondary. Antoine Partee, along with Omar Hicks-Onu, the two-man tackle on the elusive Deontay Powell.
That was a play right up over the guard, and he just gets to the line, moves quickly to the left outside the tackle, and once again a false start against Plano East.
One step forward and two back. I think the ball was wiggled up there by the guy covering it, center Dane Cordell. And nevertheless, it ends up with the Panthers penalty number 8. And what, now 7 of those? 6 of them false starts?
6 of the 8 false starts.
Goodness, first down 15, Hebron territory at the Hawk 47. Trailing 13-10, Plano East working out of the shotgun. Smalls at quarterback, reach running play. Deontay Powell goes left guard, and he is tripped up by one of his offensive linemen. I think it was Cole Moore, the offensive guard on the left side, who's done a pretty good job tonight, just didn't get the ankle out of the way, and Powell doing that little dance behind him, a little anxious and tripped up by the ankle of his offensive guard. Very little gain on the play, 2.5 maybe. Smalls from a shotgun, second down and 12. A lot of time in the pocket. Now it punctures. He's hit. He fumbles. It's loose on the ground, and Hebron's going to recover that thing at the Hawk 45-yard line. Hebron does recover, and let's identify the white shirt on top of it. That's Jarrett Lee, the nose guard, stripped loose by the puncture from defensive end Julian Harris. Little poke check strip of the quarterback, kind of hanging it out there a little loose with Smalls, the sophomore quarterback.
Yeah, young quarterback mistake. The ball not tucked in as he started to scramble.
Nobody to throw to back here, all covered and very well. That's what forced the belated scramble. Harris causes the fumble. Lee recovers. Hebron goes to work leading by 3 from the Hawk 45. Running play, Garbett stoned at the line of scrimmage. Boy, that's a fine hit. And that is authored by sophomore Michael Ulliman, an inside linebacker. Boy, between Ulliman and Corbett, that's a pretty good tandem inside. Corbett, the senior. Does this sound like a student athlete? Listed as colleges who are interested in him: Harvard, Yale, Air Force, and SMU.
Yeah, I'd say he's probably pretty smart there as a middle linebacker.
Inside of 5 minutes, running play. Wide to the right, not going to get the corner. Cratered in the loss on the play. Angelo Garbett with the carry. It is Garbett, and he's rolled up behind the line of scrimmage at the Hebron 44-yard line. And the first hit was delivered by Will Gary, a senior outside linebacker. And Hebron now with third down and playing behind the chains. The Hawks need 11. Hebron's lead at 3, 13-10. That's where we were at halftime. We're at the 4-minute mark now of our third quarter. Here's Dodd to throw. Far flat, caught by Mueller, the gain of 5. And it'll be 4th and 5 in midfield. Jordan Williams on the cover and the tackle of Derek Mueller.
Well, you can see now every time there's third and any distance, Plano East bringing either a linebacker or a defensive back on a blitz. That time the Hawks picked up the blitz well, but just did not get that route deep enough to get the first down. And those long downs just are not Hebron's strength right now.
Zadok Wilson peels off in single safety inside of his 20. Hebron will call on Jake Gennard to punt it away. Hopefully he gets a good snap. That's a high snap. Gennard pulls it down, gets a kick away under big-time pressure. A short kick off the side of the foot, but just lucky to get it away. That was Austin Corbett back there who had the hands up. And, Wes, I don't know if young Weston will remember that miniature golf hole with the windmill where you had to knock the ball between. That was almost what Gennard had to do with Austin Corbett's big-time pressure. Gets the kick away, and the ball surfaces at the Plano East 40. A Hebron bouncing down at the 35 in Panther territory at 3:29 of a third quarter.
With quarterbacks, they talk about short-arming it when you throw it sometimes. He had to short leg that one to get the kickoff.
And a nice job by Gennard to do just that. Here's Smalls and company. Fire a pass. Zadok Wilson, the catch near the line of scrimmage. The carry from the 37 across the 40 to the 41. The tackle registered by Hebron safety Omar Hicks-Onu, and the gain of 6 to the 41-yard line.
Onu just did a really nice job of breaking down, taking that tackle instead of running past it on the move.
Omar Hicks-Onu missed the first half of the year with injury. Handoff Powell, nothing doing on between the guards. First hit delivered by number 3 for the Hawks, and he's been a staple in their inside linebacker, senior Jamison Cooper. Hebron with 3 takeaways on the night, 2 fumble recoveries. Timish along with Lee in the first quarter. Isaiah Gary interception.
Jamison Cooper actually playing the position Angelo Garbett played last year. He's done a really nice job in his replacement.
Smalls on 3rd down and 3. Going to try to run for it. Going to get it. Boy, what a nice move. Make a couple of guys miss. And the tackle finally registered by Cooper. Jamison on Miklo Smalls at the 48 in Panther territory. Smalls just a sophomore, and he's going to have some big-time success over the next couple of years quarterbacking this Plano East program.
A young team this year, actually, Brad. I mean, you've got a lot of sophomores in the lineup, both offensively and defensively, and we'll see what McCullough can do with these young kids.
And some nice juniors, including the running back, Deontay Powell, who we've sat and kind of marveled at. Here's a Powell carry. Cut it against the grain, but only gained 2. The path was there, but the door slammed shut by supporting safety Antoine Partee, and only the gain of 2. Looked like Powell may have stuck that right foot in the ground and cut it back against the grain and was going to do some damage, but as I mentioned, Partee there.
Coach Brazel talked before the game about how happy he was with the defense playing the West Wolves, and actually they've been pretty good maintaining their lanes and not allowing
the big play
and run to get to the outside. They're just picking up too many of those 4- and 5-yard plays.
Here's Smalls on 2nd down and 8. A play action pass, has some time. Still in the pocket, now fires to the boundary, and that's caught at the Hebron 25. That is Amatosho in front of Colton Chapin. Chapin shucks Adi Amatosho out of bounds at the 25-yard line. But you give Miklo Smalls time to throw, and he can put it on a dime, and he does right there to a fairly well covered Adi Amatosho.
That was a play where the pass was originally intended for Carson Young. There wasn't enough pressure from the Hebron Hawk defense and gave Smalls time to make that play.
Here's a running play. Oh, Deontay Powell in some trouble behind the line of scrimmage. Sheds one, but here comes the posse, and he's buried back above his 35-yard line. The ball is taken away, but a whistle has been blown, and play has been stopped. Antoine Partee was the guy who finally got the first hit and hung on until the help came, the posse in the person of Omar Hicks-Onu. And let's see where they will mark Deontay Powell down. It looks like at the 31-yard line.
That was really nice play defensively for the Hawks. It looked like a zone read where Smalls could have actually kept the ball and gone up the middle, but the Hawks actually had both of those, those runs covered, and Smalls couldn't do anything with the ball, handed it off, let somebody else try it. It didn't work out for the Panthers.
2nd down and a bunch. Tim Wilson, the wide target left, 2 to the right side. Smalls to throw. In the pocket, spinning out of pressure, rolling right, directing traffic. Now keeping and buried in the backfield by Jamison Cooper. Cooper with great stick to him on the pressure. And Julian Harris with the early pressure that chased Miklo Smalls out of the pocket on what ends up being the final play of our 3rd frame. Big-time play defensively for Hebron as we have reached the conclusion of quarter number 3, and we're through 3 at Tom Kimbrough Stadium. Our count at the end of the 3rd quarter, the Hebron Hawks 13 and the Plano East Panthers 10 on Champion Sports Radio.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Take your choice and pay just $269 a month on new Chrysler Town & Countries or Dodge Grand Caravans. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Chrysler 300s or Dodge Chargers at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huffines has it.
Trent coming into this thing, and Weston, we balanced it out. And, Hebron only scored 7 a week ago, but Plano East scored 56 last week, and we thought we may be in for one of those score fests. Hasn't been that way. There's been some pretty good defensive football. There's been some mistakes made by either team offensively.
Yeah, this is a little surprising when it comes to the score on the scoreboard, but that had to have been one of the most rapid-moving third quarters I think we've had in a long time.
Chains ends, third down and forever for Plano East. Underway, fourth quarter. Miko Smalls in the passing pocket, flushed out, running for his life, wide left. A flag down in the secondary. Miko Smalls is chased out of bounds at the Hebron 34-yard line. The line of scrimmage, by the way, was the 36, and it was a third down, 17, maybe 18 situation. Julian Harris, along with Clay Holford, are the guys who busted through, creating the pressure and the scramble from Miko Smalls. Holding defensively against Hebron is the initial infraction indication. Fourth quarter, by the way, we've changed ends of the field, and the black-clad Panthers of Plano East now moving right to left, south to north, into a pretty good breeze here in the fourth frame.
Tough part about that holding call, automatic first down.
Yeah, it came on third down, and I'm looking at the chains. The scoreboard's not trying to keep up with down and distance, but the chains across the way show third down and maybe 22 yards to go. But there's the 15-yard penalty or 10-yard penalty down to the 24, and the automatic Plano East first down.
That I think on that one you had Jelani Heath on a hold on the route going out to the corner route. Just didn't allow Hebron to get that fourth down into the Panthers.
Well, here's Plano East looking to carve into the three-point Hebron lead, and on a little fake handoff to the right side, keeping left is Miko Smalls, and he's tackled by Chris Brayman. The gain of only 2 from the 24 down to the 22-yard line. Boy, it's getting to be hitch 'em up your pants time here with a very tight ball game. With the Hebron lead 13-10, where we were at halftime, where we are early fourth quarter. And Plano East from the Hebron 22, second down and 8 from the left hash mark. Smalls in the passing pocket. Smalls looks, throws the fade in the air for Wilson. Deep end zone. He caught it. Touchdown, and a beauty on the pass play. The fade from Miko Smalls to the very tall Tim Wilson at 6'4", 180. It covers 22 yards. And it gives Plano East their initial lead of the ball game. A couple of flags flew very late on the play, and it's holding on Colton Chapin, the defender, and they will decline that. What a beautiful catch at the baseline of the end zone to get a foot down by Tim Wilson over the shoulder on the rainbow fade, delivered by Miko Smalls. For Miko, a second touchdown pass of the evening, number 11 on the year. Here's Henry Matson with the point after touchdown. Snap back, spot down, kick on the way, and Matson makes good. And the Plano East lead at 4 over Hebron, 17 for the Panthers, 13 for the Hawks. 11:04 fourth quarter as we go to break from Tom Kimbrough Stadium.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Well, back to Tom Kimbrough Stadium. The Plano East Panthers have just garnered their initial lead of this football game at 17-13 on a beauty of a touchdown pass, 22 yards. The tall fade route thrown by Miko Smalls and gathered in very deep in the end zone by Tim Wilson. End-over-end kick from Madison, one bounce inbounds, and hugging the sideline goes out of bounds near the 4-yard line. The obligatory flag, and Hebron likely will send out the offense and work from the 30-yard line.
Plano East goes 65 yards on 7 plays. The 22-yard touchdown pass from Rico Smalls to Tim Wilson makes it Plano East 17-13. That drive kept alive by the holding penalty on 3rd and long.
It was indeed, and they do cash in on the fresh set of downs from the 22. In fact, Hebron will say, well, make you kick it again. And kick it again will the Plano East Panthers do with Henry Matson now pegging it up at his 35-yard line. Hebron deploying the tandem of Omar Hicks-Onu along with Christian Dawson to return.
Right, that's 2 drives that Plano East has had where those drives were kept alive by penalties. A couple of pass interference on the previous drive that went for a touchdown, and now that one on the hold.
Matson in the air. Going to be returned by Omar Hicks-Onu from the 14. To the left, to the 20. Has the same 30 out to the 40 midfield. Still putting up a fight and pulled down by the jersey in Plano East territory at the 47-yard line. A dandy return. The answer delivered by Omar Hicks-Onu. Tackled by Javon Redmond. Even with dandy field position and plenty of clock time at 10:53 of the 4th quarter.
I guess there's a reason why you don't accept that penalty and get to the 30-yard line when you have somebody like Hicks-Onu back there ready to receive that kickoff and take it onto the east side of the field.
The return of Hicks-Onu from the 14 to the Plano East 47. First down there. Running play, wide to the right side, getting the corner, that's Garbett upended inside the 40 and driving down to the 37, 36 and a half. Jordan Williams is on the tackle. Plenty for a first down, the gain of 11 to the Panther 46-yard line.
When you have an offense like the Hebron Hawks do, you've got to have wide receivers who block, and Derek Mueller with a beautiful block to the inside, allowing Garbett to get to the outside and make that yardage.
Garbett with good speed and great size at 6'2", 210. Here's out of a shotgun. Quick pass this way. Derek Mueller the catch. The carry from the 37 down the sideline, knocked out of bounds at the 31 by Jordan Williams. But that is a gain of 5 on 1st and 10. Passing the football. Richard Todd to the near flat. Nice pass delivery by Todd. Good catch and carry after the grab by Derek Mueller. Just now at the 10-minute mark, quarter number 4. Trailing for the first time tonight by 4. Here's Hebron. Running play left side, digging to the edge, turning the corner. Garbett to the 25. Garbett to the 20-yard line. Garbett for a first down and a Hebron carry down to the 19-yard line. The tackle in pursuit, the nose guard, Bryson Royal.
I don't think you can say enough about the blocking of Jacob Ragsdale coming out of the backfield and allowing Garbett to get upfield. I mean, he's just been unbelievable tonight on that kickout block.
They call him Rags. The senior's 5'9", 185, and he has been special. Working out of that pistol formation. The fullback is Ragsdale, and behind the quarterback, Dodd, is this guy, Angelo Garbett. Between the guards, powers his way for 4 down to the 16-yard line, maybe just 3.5. Michael Ulliman on the tackle. Field gets short here. Space gets limited. Hebron 2nd down and 6 from the 16.
You know, we always say that Angelo Garbett's probably one of the most sore guys on a Saturday morning of anybody in the metro area, but I guarantee you Ragsdale's probably just about as sore with some of the hits he's both taking and receiving.
In fact, it's Garbett with a break spell by Trey Pugh. Here's a Trey Pugh carry. The head down, nothing doing. He's pulled down by the shoulder pads at the line of scrimmage. And no gain on the play for Plano East. Michael Johnson, a defensive end on the tackle of Trey Pugh, who loses a yard. Now a big 3rd down and 7. Confronting Hebron, the line of scrimmage in Plano East territory at the Panthers' 17-yard line. The clock at the 8.5-minute mark.
You know, it's interesting. A few games ago, we knew what was coming. We knew it was going to be a handoff either up the middle or to the left side. And Hebron's mixed it up, trying to throw the ball a few times on 3rd down. We'll see what happens on this play.
Garbett not in the game. Pugh retains at tailback. Here's a quick pass far side. Jalen Sanders with the catch. Doesn't carry for a first down, but picks up 3 or 4. Now a flag thrown early on the play as it was unfolding. The flag resting in the backfield of Plano East defensively.
Offsides against the Plano East Panthers. That helps the Hawks out here down on the short field.
Well, it does. It's third down, a long 7 before the flag. The pass and carry by Jalen Slater picked up perhaps 4.5, maybe 5 of the 7 needed for a first down. I'm sure Hebron takes the free 5, which will place the football at the 17-yard line. And from there, third down 3.
Kind of funny, Trey Pugh looking over to the sideline going, am I staying in? Am I staying in? And you bet he is.
Behind Ragsdale, Pugh at tailback. Here's the snap to the quarterback. Man, Todd digging for the edge, digging for the first down marker. Tackled at the 10, sprawling forward, had to get inside the 10 for the first. And I think it's just going to be a little bit shy. Fourth down, less than a yard for Hebron at the Plano East 10-yard line. Michael McNair on the latest tackle. Angelo Garbett back into the game for fourth down and 1 for Hebron.
Hayden Seeley loses his shoe on that play, hurries up to get that thing back on for fourth down, get lined up back at that right tackle spot.
Seeley, the man mountain, the senior, 6'2", 265, and as you mentioned, digging in at right tackle. On his hip, a tight end, Joe Martin, right side. Garbett at tailback, under his dot. Toss sweep, Garbett, head down, first down, Angelo Garbett. The first and goal earned at the Plano East 7-yard line. Tackle to Michael McNair. Hats off to center Brian Drew, guards Keith Thomas and Devin Wright up front, opening up an avenue in the 3-4-yard gain by Garbett on 4th and 1.
Perfect execution of that fourth down play. Hebron Hawks first and goal from the 6.
Inside of 7 minutes, working from the left hash mark. Out of a shotgun, snap it to Dodd, hand it to Garbett. Digging wide, turning the corner to the 5, touchdown Angelo Garbett from 7 yards away. Garbett's third rushing touchdown of the night comes at 6:32 of our fourth quarter.
I'm telling you what, Brad, we talk about Deontay Powell and how quick he can turn it up the field or how he can move left to right, but Angelo Garbett on that run, once he decided he was going to go from sideline to goal line, he really made it happen in a hurry, and it's not very often that you see somebody move that quick up the field.
Looked as if he was going to go wide left, but he got out there off tackle and planted that left foot and then turned it up against the grain, waved at a couple of Plano East defenders on his way to the pay station. And here's the flag in the air, the kick in the air, and Kyler Terry looks like he's good. Offsides against Plano East will be declined, and Hebron will post a point number 20 on the board and take a lead at 20-17 on the point after touchdown by Kyler Terry, punctuating the 7-yard Garbett touchdown run. We go to break, 6:32, quarter number 4. New count from Kimbrough, Hebron 20 and Plano East 17.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on the all-new 2013 Huffines Dodge Starts. Only $269 a month on new Huffines Ram Quad Cabs. Or only $279 a month on new Huffines Ram Crew Cabs. At both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huffines has it.
After Plano East snagged their first lead of the game back at the 11:04 mark of this fourth quarter, Hebron comes back and answers at 6:32 and regains the lead now at 3 points, 20-17. Kickoff from Horiades. That is going to be returned from the goal line across the 10-15. Not going to see the 20-yard line. And on the return for Plano East is Tim Wilson. And on the tackle there, Jason Lynch on Hebron's kick cover team. Again, watch that clock, 6:25 remaining. What's the book on Hebron's go-ahead touchdown drive?
Hebron goes 47 yards in 7 plays, takes up 4:29 off the game clock. 7-yard touchdown run by Angelo Garbett. That is his 13th of the year.
The good field position from the Plano East 47 set up on the excellent kick return of Omar Hicks Onu. After East had garnered the lead, the ensuing kickoff, Hicks Onu with the terrific return. Here's a Powell with a carry, and behind the line of scrimmage, window shops for some daylight. Not much there. Sticks the nose in behind right guard and met by Antoine Partee after a gain of 3 out to his 22.
Garbett tonight, 25 carries, 168 yards.
And 3 touchdowns. Miko Small sits his offense down, working from the shotgun. Look to throw, and right he does throw. A gain of only a couple of yards right there, spun down immediately by Eberhardt. On the catch over there is Amatosho, and very short gain of only 2 on the play to the 25.
You know, it's amazing to think there's less than 6 minutes left in this ball game. This second half is flying. We'll see if the Panthers can do something, which this might be their last drive the way things are going.
Yeah, Wes, we may have time to trick or treat yet.
We might.
Clock running at 5:22 as Plano East comes over the line and needs 5. Going to try to run with it with Miko Smalls, who picks up only 2 of the 5 needed on third down. Will be 4th down and a long 2, perhaps 3. Now it's going to be 2 yards needed. Antoine Partee on the tackle. Go for it time, of course, for Plano East offensive coordinator Brad Bailey.
Yeah, I mean, you're only 1 win this year. You're less than 5 minutes left in this ball game. You might as well go for it on 4th down here. It might be your only opportunity to continue a drive.
Well, it's not Powell in that backfield. That's, in fact, Corbett back there. But it's going to be Smalls running behind a Corbett block, picking up a 1st down. Miko Smalls with a head of steam off left tackle. Alan Sarabia, the left tackle, a good block, but a better block by the guy that's defensively a star inside linebacker in Corbett. Partee of Hebron on the tackle at the 32. There's that familiar Plano East fight song, the Hail to the Victors tune. That rattles down from Ann Arbor. Smalls the handoff, a reach, a give to Powell. And Deontay Powell speared down by defensive end Julian Harris. Gain of only 1 on the play to the 34.
Who was once 52, now 48. Julian Harris, quick off of the line that time. He just got off on a slant into the middle of the line for Plano East, and nice play defensively.
You've confused me enough with Julian Harris. He's actually 49.
49,
I just looked through the glasses there. Boy, good heavens, here's another false start on Plano East. And a drive that's confronted now with 2nd down and 8.5 will become 2nd down 13.5 on yet another false start penalty.
I just want to say, Antoine Partee, he's seen kind of some spot playing here and there. Tonight he's played most of the game. He's done really well with the run support coming up and stopping them.
Seen a whole bunch of number 11 in a white jersey. Smalls to throw. Looking left, throwing left. Flag down, football caroms into the air. Hicks Onu with a hit on the receiver, and I don't know if that's what's going to be the flag. The flag, I think, was thrown at the by the umpire there in the neutral zone. Pass goes incomplete. Maybe holding Plano East.
Holding on the offensive line.
I tell you what, Julian Harris was a little steam coming out of there. In fact, his teammates still talking to him. He may have been the one that got held. But Julian needs to let the peacemakers make peace and play defense. Now 3rd down and 13.5. Line of scrimmage, the 29, Panther territory. 3:33 remaining in the ball game. Great big play here, certainly 4 down territory. Smalls wants to throw downfield. Dancing in the pocket, eludes one guy. Eberhardt gives chase. Miko Smalls throws on the run in a crowd. Intercepted by Colton Chapin at the midfield stripe, immediately out of bounds. I'm sure that was number 8 Chapin who came away with the Oski at midfield and maybe pay the price on the insurance premium for a Hawk win.
Boy, I tell you what, the last 3 times the Hawk defensive backs have had to defend the pass, they have done it, and they put pressure on Smalls, caused a holding, that time an interception.
And the pressure there authored by linebacker Corey Eberhardt, and throwing it on the run and kind of a wild pass downfield in a crowd, picked by Colton Chapin. Hebron goes to work. 1st down and 10, their lead at 2017 at the 3:17 mark, playing from the Plano East 49. Running play. Garbett outside, left side. Cuts it against the grain. The gain 5-7 and out of bounds at the Panther 42-yard line. Alleman forced the action on the far sideline. Another nice move to cut inside a would-be tackler on the far boundary.
Going back to that Chapin interception, he started on the near side at the corner spot and intercepted it on the far side on the sideline from the broken play, just following the receiver.
Boy, he was mugged over there by a bounding Hebron sideline that he ran into.
Yeah, usually you don't see your own sideline mug you. Sometimes the opposition's does, but
my goodness.
Happy Hawks out there right now.
It's 2nd down and 3. Going to run with it with Garbett, and why not? And he'll put up a fight and get all of that 3 if they give him a friendly spot. If not, just a breath shy. On the tackle, that good linebacker, Austin Corbett. And it is 1st down on the legs of one Angelo Garbett. Not asking for a total right now, but when we conclude this thing, it'll be nice to run a tally on Garbett's evening.
Well, I tell you what, you can just see a little hop, a skip, and a step of the Hebron Hawks out there on offense this drive. That interception just breathed a sigh of relief for the Hawks. Now they can try and just take this ball and finish this game off, secure it, and not make any mistakes, and they have the ball game.
Under is Richard Dodd, the quarterback. A misexchange that's loose, and I think Garbett able to pounce on it in his backfield. Good heavens, flirting with disaster. Misexchange, center to quarterback, and I think it was booted into the Plano East, or rather Hebron backfield. Hebron calls a timeout after the Hawks flirt with disaster. The recovery made by Angelo Garbett. You know what, Trent Lynch? I'm going to miss Angelo Garbett.
Oh, my God.
He has had a wonderful high school career between a year ago. Was absolutely splendid as at the outside, weak side linebacker. Maybe led that Hawk football team in tackles. He was everywhere. And then this year, the bulk of his duty has been offensively at running back. Spot time defensively to remind us how good he is on that side of the football.
You know, there's very few players who can excel at a position offensively and a position defensively. We've seen Jamal Adams do it. We've seen some other great athletes at Hebron High do it, but Angelo Garbett was a monster at linebacker.
Yeah.
And he is a monster as the featured running back for the Hebron Hawks. And like we've talked about, he is keyed on every ball game by the defense, yet he still produces every ball game.
Garbett has committed his talents verbally to Oregon State University. I'm sure others will be interested and are interested. Here's Hebron after the timeout defensively. Give it to Garbett. Not much doing. Off tackle to the right side will be 3rd down 11 for Hebron, and Plano East will spend another timeout to stop that 4th quarter clock at the 2-minute 23-second mark. Give us an opportunity to say thanks to one of those who makes this possible for this Friday night fun for our bunch, and that's a thanks to Stephen Barb Hill, the folks at Point of Origin Design. It's your one-stop shop for all of your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design, full-service design, logo creation company offering a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products with competitive pricing, always quality work. You can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at Point of Origin Design and let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next T-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com. Our thanks particularly to Stephen Barb Hill of Point of Origin Design. After the Plano East timeout, even with a 3rd down and 10 situation to solve from the 39 in Panther territory. The Hebron lead at 3, 2017. Go on a reverse. Christian Dawson cuts against the grain. Nice move. 30 break and tackle 25. Keep it for a 1st down inside the 20. Christian Dawson just driving that final nail in the Panther coffin. It took a Jordan Williams tackle. What a nice reverse to Christian Dawson, the little senior speedster at 5'9" and 165. Did some of it with his quick feet, more with his vision and athletic ability.
And I'm telling you what, we had both the line and once again our favorite fullback in there making some key blocks, allowing Dawson to come up behind those blocks, and he brings a little different element of speed to that run, and I'm sure that Plano East knew he was going to run the ball with this little time left in the ball game, and the Hawks execute.
Man, converting. Hey, that line features Brian Drew at center, Devin Wright, Keith Thomas, the offensive guards, Hayden Seeley, and Freddie Danches have been the tackles throughout the evening. Tight ends, a bunch of Joe Martin, some of Nathan Grant at tight end. Wide receivers, and they've been doing a heck of a job blocking, particularly Derek Mueller and Christian Dawson here, Jalen Slater. But that fullback you mentioned, identify him. He wears a 2'8", and he has only sparkled in that fullback spot the last 2, maybe 3 ball games, is Jacob Ragsdale. I think by trade, they expected more production defensively out of Ragsdale at a linebacking position, and Rags had to play quite a bit the last couple of weeks, spelling the injured Clay Holford, but he has been exclusively offensively tonight, and he has been very offensive. Thank you.
Yeah, just making it happen, and you can't do it without blocking for your featured running back, and Ragsdale's been key in that.
Garbett tonight, he can thank his offensive line and Ragsdale after the game because he has 28 carries, 179 yards.
Not his best effort of the year. That came in game number 1, the loss at Coppell, when Angelo torched the Cowboys for 220 yards, but perhaps maybe an even more productive 179 yards than the 220 in the opener. Hebron goes to work after earning the first down on the legs of Christian Dawson at the 19. Running play, right side, clearing a corner. Look out, that's Dodd inside the 15, spilled by an open field tackle authored by Jordan Williams at the 11-yard line.
We hear from Petey Nielsen, who responds he's going to miss Angelo Garbett too. And Petey, we miss you on Halloween night.
Petey, if we're drawing you a decent picture, you're seeing a pretty good ball game. And the biggest cavity up here is your chair. It's empty.
But we know you're having a good time.
And here with us in spirit. Yet another timeout. We'll stop a fourth quarter clock with only 90 seconds remaining. Hebron with a 2nd down and 2 from the Panther 11-yard line. Tonight's broadcast of Hebron Hawk football has been brought to you in part by Huff-Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, by Whirlyball, the 2 locations to serve you both in Plano and Hurst, by In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting, a sports marketing company, by Point of Origin Design, by ShockboxDFW.com, and by the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra and the new GDYO Jazz Institute, along with Trent Lynch, along with Weston Lynch. My name's Brad Denton. Collectively, we're Champion Sports Radio and having some fun tonight from Tom Kimbrough Stadium in Murphy. After the timeout, here's Hebron. Richard Dodd breaks out of the backfield wide left, goes down on a slide tackle, and he can afford to lose a yard back to the 13 as that clock spills now down inside the 1:20 mark. For Plano East, 1:13, now 11 seconds away from a 5th consecutive loss. Remember, the lone Plano East win was back in game number 3, the District 6-6A opener. Won it by 3, 27-24 over Flower Mound. Lost some big ones along the way since, to Plano West 42-7, to Plano 34-6, and have lost some tight ones also, including last week's kind of a heartbreaker, 58-56 to the Louisville Fighting Farmers, a ball game that they saw Louisville come back from very deep in the ball game and win the thing. Timeout called by Plano East, and we'll take this final timeout with the Panthers. 36 seconds remaining. Hebron by 3, Hawks 20, Panthers 17 on Champion Sports Radio.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
with Hebron confronted with 3rd down and 5 with only 36 ticks remaining. Hey, our favorite formation, the victory formation. A snap, a step in reverse, and Richard Dodd goes down on a knee, and the final 30 seconds will tick away, and Hebron's offensive 11 will bound to the sideline as they will celebrate a 3-point win tonight, 20-17, over the Plano East Panthers. By the way, this meeting number 3 between Hebron and East, and the first Hebron win in the series. Final 5 seconds down to 4. Now the teams are lining up, and we'll share a handshake as they line up at midfield. There's the final horn from Tommy Kimbrough Stadium in Murphy, and we do go final at Hebron 20 and Plano East 17 with the win. The Hawks now 2 up and 7 down, with the regular season finale to be staged at Hawk Stadium next Friday night. The Broncos of McKinney Boyd come to call as we close the curtain. For Plano East, well, the Panthers suffer a 6th loss in a row as the Panthers fall to 1-8, and the very unenviable task of the Allen Eagles coming here to close the curtain on the Plano East schedule next week. And ironically, Allen will be the home team with the situation that the homeless Allen Eagles are in here in 2014. A good win for Hebron Hawks for head coach Brian Brazel in his 15th year. How about win number 107 against only 65 losses? Was fun here. Hebron led by 3 at halftime, 13-10. Hebron wins by 3 by a final score of 20-17. We come back and wrap it up on Champion Sports Radio, our postgame programming at your ears after this timeout.
This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Take your choice and pay just $269 a month on new Chrysler Town & Countries or Dodge Grand Caravans. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Chrysler 300s or Dodge Chargers at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShopboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute. Online at gdyo.org/jazz.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2nd, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the #1 cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
Along with Trent Lynch, our post-game program comes your way from Tom Kimbrough Stadium, brought to you by In Command Broadcasting. And at Kimbrough Stadium, the Hebron Hawks notch a 20-17, the three-point thread, the final over the homestanding Plano East Panthers. And Trent, we came in here and saw so many old friends here at the Plano Independent School District facility, and talking to Stan Hicks, as a matter of fact, and we both determined that one of these teams is going to have the privilege of stepping into some geography they're not all that familiar with, called the winner's circle, at the close of this thing. And it's Hebron tonight in a hard-fought win, 20-17, that does get the winner's circle at Kimbrough Stadium.
Yeah, you know, both of these teams used to being in the winner's circle in prior years, but this has been a difficult year for each one of these football programs, and it's really good to see Hebron get that second win, come off of that, what could be termed a bad loss last week with all the turnovers and the penalties, and turn it around. And, you know, it goes back to the question you asked Coach Brazel before the ball game. Do you just throw that tape away and say, here we go, or do you study it and say, what did we do wrong? And he said, yep.
Yeah, his answer was, yeah.
But, you know, it's good to see the Hawks execute there in the last part of the third quarter and the fourth quarter to bring that victory home.
Get the late takeaway to seal the thing. Let's talk about how we got here. Hebron kicked off to Plano East to open the ball game, and on Plano East, early in that first possession off the game's opening kickoff, Miko Smalls, the sophomore quarterback, overthrew a receiver and right into the lap of Hebron cornerback, the junior, and Isaiah Gary, who got the interception. A decent return to the Panther 33-yard line, and Hebron was set up in business moving downhill before they even took a snap.
Yeah, and it's exactly what Hebron needed to start the game. They got that early turnover from Gary, who would happen to actually get hurt the next defensive possession, and we didn't see him the rest of the night. But he had a big play for the Hawks on that first drive.
Well, after taking the possession, after the Gary interception at the 33, only 3 plays later, Angelo Garbett scampers it in from 14 yards away. This comes only a minute 17 into quarter number one. And Kyler Terry's point after touchdown at the 10-minute, 43-second mark of that first quarter gave Hebron a 7-0 lead. Now Plano East comes back and ties it very late in that initial period as we saw some defense started to be played by the Panthers, particularly stymieing some Hebron drives, and Hebron continues to play some good defense. But towards the end of the first period, in fact, with only 33 seconds remaining, on the ninth play of a pretty good drive, Plano East finds the scoring mark on a 32-yard touchdown pass triggered by Miko Smalls and caught by Adi Adamacho. And it goes 32 yards, and Jordan Madison's point after touchdown straight through into first quarter, square, 7 aside, Hawks and Panthers. Hebron regains the lead in the second quarter at the 2:39 mark. A very handsome drive, and this was set up by a turnover when Plano East had a most promising offensive possession. In fact, they had the thing first down and goal inside the Hawk 10 on the sidewalk, about to start knocking at that old door that would let them in for the touchdown. They had the football at the 6-yard line, and what happened then? Well, the malfunction at the junction or the mesh point between quarterback Smalls and his running back, Deontay Powell.
I think sometimes you have to remember Smalls, a sophomore, Powell, that junior, his first year to start. He actually wasn't the starting running back to begin this season, has come back in later. Maybe a little nerves on their part. They're trying to get the win tonight, and from the time the ball was snapped until it try and hand it off to Powell, and it just didn't work.
And the handoff looked to be high from Smalls up here in the shoulder pad area, bounces off of Deontay Powell into the neutral zone, and it's seen there. It's recovered there by Jacob Timish, a linebacker, and Hebron fights off a would-be Plano East drive for points, but then they crank up the offense, taking over at their 4 and marching 96 yards on 9 plays, scoring late second quarter at the 2:39 mark on a 30-yard Angelo Garbett carry. That was a drive aided big time by a defensive holding call on 4th down on Plano East after it looked like the Panther defense had stopped Hebron and taken over on downs, but hang on, we have holding in the defensive backfield, new life for Hebron, and I think it was on the very next play from scrimmage from the 30, Garbett was taking it to the pay station 30 yards away.
And early in that drive, actually the first play of that drive, a nice over 30-yard run by Angelo Garbett as well to get Hebron out from that end zone and into the middle of the field, and it didn't have that pressure of trying to execute within the 5-yard line.
But after the Garbett touchdown, Hebron with personnel problems with the point after touchdown team, scrambling around, trying to hurry to beat the play clock, get a snap back, but it's not a good snap. It's a heck of a job by Colton Chapin to get the thing down, but it's crooked, and Kyler Terry does get a foot into it, but not close, way wide to the right side, and Hebron's lead is at 13-7 with less than 2:40 until halftime.
Looked like one of my drives, Brad. It just kind of stayed up in the air, went shallow to the right, but, it's one of those situations where you wonder, do we take the penalty and maybe go back 5 yards and try and kick that extra point versus trying to rush it? But in the heat of the moment, no timeouts. You do what you got to do, and they just got out there and couldn't make it happen.
Trent, good point. Very good point. Plano East wasn't done in the first half as they take the ensuing kickoff and put together a very handsome drive, 8 plays. It stalls after some 66 yards, and with 9 seconds remaining, they bring on Mr. Matson, and Henry Matson boots true the 22-yard field goal that posts up 3 more on the Plano East board and takes us to our halftime count at Hebron 13 and Plano East 10. Go to play, third quarter, and throw up a couple of bagels in the third quarter. Nobody scores there. Still 13-10 Hebron by 3 as we turn the clock over and play in the final frame. But Hebron was on a pretty good drive there as third quarter turned to fourth, and in fact at the 11:04 mark of a quarter, Plano East was on a pretty good drive, and it was the Panthers at the 11:04 mark of that fourth quarter that, capped the drive on play number 7. It's a 65-yard drive in total, and it's a 22-yard touchdown pass. Miko Smalls to Tim Wilson, and a beautiful fade route. Wilson was covered and very well. In fact, drew a penalty flag on Colton Chapin, the cover corner. But the fade route, the tall one, the looping rainbow, thrown to Wilson very deep in the end zone, and Wilson, the over-shoulder grab and able to get a foot down, baseline of the end zone. Hey, roll the arm skyward. That's touchdown Plano East, 22 yards.
And I'm surprised he even got to the ball, Brad, because Chapin had a hold of his jersey pretty good as he made his turn going to the back of the end zone, but beautiful execution on that play.
Well, that took the lead to 16-13 Plano East, and here comes Henry Matson. His point after touchdown stretches the Plano East lead to 4, 17-13. This at 11:04 of quarter number 4, and it's the first Plano East lead of the ball game, and you wondered how Hebron would respond. Well, the Hawks do respond, and very handsomely, as they score the game-winning touchdown with 6 minutes, 32 seconds remaining. Taking the ensuing kickoff, a nice return from his 14 to the Plano East 47 by Omar Hicks-Onu. Put the Hawks moving downhill from the start of the drive. From the Plano East 47, well, 7 plays later, 7-yard touchdown run by Angelo Garbett. And remember, the key play in the sequence was what, Wes?
The key play was the kickoff that went out of bounds.
That was critical.
And Hebron had them re-kick it, and Onu able to return it into Plano East territory.
And then, Trent, we started rolling this thing and putting together a pretty good drive of Plano East, playing some respectable defensive football. And all of a sudden, Hebron has a 4th and 1, and they got to solve the riddle to keep the drive alive. Who do you go to?
Well, you'd think Angelo Garbett, but this time it was Christian Dawson coming from the end, coming around to the middle of the and taking the handoff up the middle between the guard and the outside tackle on the left, and he found a hole, and when he cut up, he put the afterburners on and gained about 18 yards on that run, and that made all the difference for the Hawks.
Dawson on the slot back reverse, in fact, is what you could define that thing, and his biggest contribution offensively thus far this year, and he has had some very nice contributions in the past, but that gives Hebron the fresh set of downs, and later in the drive on play number 7, well, it's Garbett again, a 3rd rushing touchdown for Angelo. This one, the final one, from 7 steps away at 6:32 remaining in the ball game, and Mr. Kyler Terry was able to come on and boot the point after touchdown, post up point number 20 for the Hawks. Hebron wins it by that final score of 20-17, but not before some more defensive fireworks for the Hawks. A late takeaway that seals the deals, pays the premium on the insurance policy, and the late interception at midfield by Colton Chapin, triggered by Miko Smalls, who was under big-time pressure in the backfield. But it goes on the win column for the Hawks now, 2-7 on the year, with McKinney Boyd coming to call to close it out next Friday night. We'll review this one statistically. Here are the comments of winning head coach Brian Brazel when the post-game programming continues from Kimbrough Stadium after this timeout.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on the all-new 2013 Huffines Dodge Starts. Only $269 a month on new Huffines Ram Quad Cabs. Or only $279 a month on new Huffines Ram Crew Cabs. At both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huffines has it.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship social media.
Do you need a boost in exposure? Want to reach local community-minded folks with information about your business? Join the team and advertise during these games. Advertising during high school broadcasts allows your business to reach thousands of local fans right from your community. We use the latest technology in sports broadcasting so that fans at the game will be able to listen live to the broadcast and the commercials. It's also a way for your business to give back to the community by helping all of these well-deserving student-athletes get some recognition for their accomplishments. The cost simply cannot be beat for the effect it will have. You get a lot of bang for your buck. And best of all, it provides an opportunity for the best advertisement of all, word of mouth. To secure your prime commercial spot during the broadcast, contact Thomas Lee at Champion Sports Radio by phone at 972-741-0334. That's 972-741-0334 or online at championsportsradio.com. Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
The wrap-up show brought to you by In Command Broadcasting continues from Tom Kimbrough Stadium along with Weston Lynch and Trent Lynch. I'm Brad Denton. Hebron wins it tonight by a final count of 20-17 over the homestanding Hawks. And our Wes Lynch hustled down and a very short time ago caught up with 15th-year Hebron head coach Brian Brazel, who rings up a 107th win against 65 losses. And Wes, I'll make you a wish as we give it a listen that Coach Brazel had some bounce in his step post-game.
Coach, your team comes out with a 2017 win. You've got to be proud of the way your defense and offense played in the second half, forcing 2 more turnovers and Garbett able to do what he wants running the ball.
Yeah, it was a great win for us. Anytime you get a win, anytime you're able to go out and play, and I was real happy for those kids. It was, they've been working hard. They've been putting in the time and effort. It's a very, very tough district. Me and Coach McCullough were talking about it. We both had so many injuries this year, and we've been putting Band-Aids on everything. But to come out and get a win was great for us, and, put us, got 2 wins in district. I know that don't sound great, but it sounds like a lot better than 1. So we're good. Now we get a chance to go out to get another next week against a tough Boyd team, and we'll be excited about that challenge for next week.
Like you said, 2 wins in district, 2 wins throughout the year. You've got to be happy with the way your team comes to practice every day and comes out and plays with pride.
Yeah, it's you never guarantee what you're going to get. You get 10 games and you're going to go out and play as much hard as you can those 10 games you have. And these kids, they've had a great attitude. And like I said beforehand, the game ever started, these kids, they just enjoy being out here. They enjoy playing. They enjoy being with each other. And so it's great to go out and get a win. I'm happy for them. We had some guys make some nice plays for us. And, again, they're going to be a good football team down the road. They're young. They got a lot of guys coming back. But, we're just glad to get a win tonight.
Thanks, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
There he is, words from Brian Brazel, and he mentioned, hey, the 2 wins sounds a lot better than 1. Ironically, for Hebron, both wins in district and both wins for the Hawks on the road a couple of weeks ago at Flower Mound and again here tonight at Plano East.
A good win for the Hebron Hawks, and going into next week, McKinney Boyd, a very strong team who's maybe been one of the surprises of the district as they come in, but a great running game, and actually from talking to a few other people before tonight's ball game, they pretty impressive at the wide receiver position, and the Hawks are going to have to be ready next week. Maybe they can get win number 3 next week against a Boyd team that has qualified for the playoffs.
Yeah, they may have a little bit of a letdown. Who knows? McKinney Boyd, by the way, will bring into Hebron a 5-win, 3-loss record. I believe that's correct. That's only 8 games. Everybody's played 9, so maybe it's 6-3 for the playoff-bound Boyd Broncos. And by the way, for District 6A, the playoff tickets punched as follows. Division I representatives will be Allen and Plano West. The Division II reps out of District 6A will be the Boyd Broncos along with the Plano Wildcats.
Isn't it something that Plano, one of the 4 or 5 largest high schools in the state of Texas, and it's going to be a Division II team. But that's just the way this district is. When you have Allen, Plano West, Plano East, Plano.
Those are huge schools.
Very large schools. And one of them has to go down to Division II if all of those make the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see how all that plays out.
Trent, the big numbers on the statistical sheet from my perspective for Hebron are the 2 apiece in the turnover, the takeaway department, 1 interception, 2 of those, and a couple of fumble recoveries.
Yeah, that really hurt the East Panthers. And last week when it was Hebron's turn to turn the ball over, they got the benefit of the turnover tonight, and Hebron with no turnovers themselves. They did put the ball on the ground the one time, but Angelo Garbett ready to go and make it happen. But you look overall, Hebron had 15 first downs, 45 rushing attempts for 222 yards, about 5 yards a carry, 4 for 6 passing the ball, 25 yards, ended up with 247 offensive yards. And Plano East, 38 rushes for 150 yards, but they had 114 of those at half. Hebron, a really nice job defensively in the second half, stopping the run and the pass. 10 of 16 for Miklo Smalls, 130 yards, those 2 interceptions, 280 total yards for Plano East. But another thing that when you look at the penalties, you can kind of see what happened.
It's a killer for Plano East. 11, I see on your stat sheet.
11 for 57. So that tells you they're almost all 5-yard penalties. Almost every one of those penalties a false start. And other than that defensive holding call, those were the penalties for Plano East tonight, and it really hurt them offensively.
Now, Hebron in the flag department, the penalty department, had 5 for 45 at halftime, end up with only 1 flag in the second half. It was a 10-yarder, so 6 penalties go against Hebron for 55 yards this evening, and that's something you can gnaw on that and feel pretty good about it. But the biggest number, again, for Hebron, they're not there. Turnover-free football for Hebron, and the Hawks registering the 4 giveaways. Any final thoughts? Any final scores coming in here, Weston, to share?
Couple scores for you. Cedar Hill 34, Mansfield 49, very late in the fourth quarter.
And so Cedar Hill is going to go down, and that's a state top 10 team in Class 6A. In fact, the Longhorns are locked in there at number 6 statewide, but they're going to be tagged with their second loss of the year.
And then Allen, Plano West. Allen is up 63-41 in the fourth quarter, driving again into Plano West territory. Soso Jamambo on the night has
been busy.
35 carries for 243 yards.
He's the real deal, and there's just no question about that. Trent, I can't tell you how much I enjoyed working with you in Weston. We appreciate that. We miss Mr. Pete Nielsen in his absence, but somehow we're able to string this thing together and keep on keeping on, and I do appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you and Weston. Thanks to both of you.
It was a great time, Brad, and I look forward to hearing you guys call Angelo Garbett's 1,300-yard early in the ballgame next week as he ends tonight with 1290.
We'll be there. Hawk Stadium, Game 10, the finale. The McKinney Boyd Broncos coming to call a week from tonight on November the 7th. For Trent Lynch, for Weston Lynch, I'm Brad Denton. We're Champion Sports Radio. From Tom Kimbrough Stadium in Murphy for a final time, our final score, the Hebron Hawks 20 and the Plano East Panthers 17. That's all for this time. We say thank you for your time, and so long, everybody.